Yeah, thank you. Like the background. Hmm? That's all right.
afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, ma.
Yeah. So I'm trying to say, I welcome you all to another edition of DMM. This is the 4th edition since we started, and it's been nothing short of impactful. So today we have another edition, and it's not just another edition, it's an edition that promises to be more impactful than the previous. And so I'll start now. It is always good to commit whatever we do into the creator's hands so that network doesn't malfunction, the phone of the speakers doesn't malfunction. We want everything to go on smoothly. We have prayed before now, but we'll still be committing the event into God's hands. I appreciate each and every one of us that has joined. I see that we're about 8 already in the conference room. I'd love you to remind your friends. If you're here to remind them, tell them of this conference. Just let them know that we have started and they don't want to be gisted by you. They should be in the conference room. And so I'll be praying now before I call the first speaker. Our Father, our Lord, we thank you for today. We thank you for keeping us till now. The last time we met was last month, and we are grateful because we have an opportunity to converse. We say, be exalted in the name of Jesus. We commit all the gadgets that we use from our phones to internet connections. We pray that nothing goes wrong in the name of Jesus. We pray that we will not just hear these words and go back the same way, but our lives will be transformed in a huge form. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen. All right, so I'll be calling on the first speaker. I'm sure you must have seen the design of the program. You must have, caught a glimpse of the people that are talking, that are going to be speaking to us today. You must have seen their pictures, but you probably have not come across their social media platforms. Like before now, you might not have had the opportunity to be sitting under their tutelage. So I'll be calling on Pastor Dr. Alo Olatokunboh. Akin is going to be giving us the word charge for 15 minutes. Pastor Dr. Alo is a pastor, is a certified content creator, an insightful counselor, an author, LinkedIn banner designer, personal development expert, a life coach, and a spiritual strategist. He is a graduate of computer science and theology for over 20 years. You must be like, wow, yes, teaching in Bible schools and impacting lives globally. He is married to Alo Olatokunboh and blessed with 2 glorious children, transformation and pistis. And it's such a pleasure to have him in the conference room already. And so I'll be calling on Dr. Alo to take on the mic now. Yes, I see still in the is in the room already. You can have the mic now, sir.
Thank you very much. Can we all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
All right, thank you so much. I want to appreciate the convener of this.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, I want to appreciate the convener of this awesome conference. Let me say, Sister Iyabo Oyawale. I want to appreciate the anchor person, and I want to appreciate everyone that is already in the conference room. I pray that God will minister in the name of Jesus. All right. My assignment this afternoon is to help us to know how to discover or identify our purpose and our potentials in life. Now, this is something that but it takes a certain number of months, number of days to teach it, but I'm going to break it down within the next 12 minutes to explain to us what we need to know about purpose, about potential, and how to discover them. Number one thing is, let me define potential, then I'll define purpose, and I'll give us how we can identify or discover our purpose. Number one, potential, among other definitions, is the greatness that you are meant to manifest in life, but packaged into you. It is your greatness in life packaged into you. In other words, it is inside. That potential is something that is inside. That potential, there's a capacity in that potential to make you great in life. There is the capacity in that potential to make you become too relevant to be ignored in life. But it is like a seed. The potential is like a seed. It is planted inside you such that you need to find out where that seed is. Then, after finding out where the seed is, you now have to plant it. You know, a seed that is not planted cannot grow. Even if you even if it grows, it will not germinate to fruition. It will not germinate to the level that it will be able to produce fruit. For instance, if you throw corn seed carelessly on an untarred road, maybe by the roadside, it can, after some days, you can see it budding, you can see it bringing out leaves, but it cannot grow to the level that it will produce fruit. And inside of every seed, please take note of this, inside of every seed, there's a capacity to produce fruit. This is a principle that we can find in the creation, from the creation that God did, the work of creation that God did in Genesis chapter 1. If you read verse 11, you will see there that God was saying to the trees that grew from the ground, he said that the fruit in those seeds, the fruit on those trees should have seed in them. Now, when you eat a fruit, the seed inside that fruit is still able to produce that fruit over and over again. So in order for any individual not to go into extinction, you must identify your seed. You must plant the seed intentionally, plant the seed on the right ground, and then you must let that seed germinate to fruition, and then you'll be able to produce fruit. So the potential in any man and every man is the seed in you that is given to you in order for you to be able to produce fruit in life. So you can be productive. No matter where you are, no matter what you are doing, you can be productive. All you need is, what is that seed in me? Once you're able to identify that seed, then you can produce fruit. Now, that is potential. When we are talking about purpose, purpose is simply talking about the main reason for the existence of a thing or a person. The reason for the existence of a person or a thing. For instance, now, purpose. One thing we need to understand about purpose is, before you create or before you manufacture, if you're a manufacturer, before you manufacture a thing, you must have seen the end result or the outcome of that thing that you want to create, that you want to manufacture, before you go into it. So before you and I were created, before we were formed in our mother's womb, before we came into this world, I want to let you know that there was something in the mind of the creator before he allowed you to come into this world. So whatever stature you have, whatever size, whatever skin color, whatever shape of your head is, wherever you are located, whatever your race, whatever situation brought you into this, maybe you were born out of wedlock, maybe you were born through rape, maybe whatever, maybe you even have any form of deformity in any part of your body. I want to let you know that there is a purpose, there's an outcome, there's an expectation in the mind of God before you came into this world. Now, when you identify your purpose, that is when you can enter into why you are in this world. All right, how then can I identify my purpose? Two ways. Number one, it is through your giftings and your calling. Through your giftings and your callings. Now, I'm going to explain so that we will not think that it is only Christians that I'm talking to when I say gift and calling. Many people have thought or are still thinking, because there are people that still think that when we talk about calling or a call, we are looking at someone that is being called into ministry as a pastor, as a prophet, or as an evangelist. No. I'm going to explain it so that we will understand. Now, when I'm talking about giftings or gifts, your gifts are the tools, the resources that God has given to you for problem solving and solution providing. I hope you got that. The resources, the tools that God has given to you and I for problem solving and solution providing. So it means that there are certain things that each person in this conference room, there is something that you have inside of you, either through your training or through the natural abilities of God in you, that you are meant to be using to solve a problem or a challenge. So you need to understand that is the number one thing. Your gifts are the resources, the tools that God has given to you, either naturally or through training, that you are meant to use to solve problems. And the problem can be in any form. The challenge can be in any form. It can be in anybody's life. It can be in any country. You can be here in Nigeria. You can be in Ghana and be solving problems for people in Canada. You can be in Canada and be solving problems for people in China. So as it is in this generation and in this dispensation, I want to let you know that your gifts are needed. Your gifts are required. Your gifts are important to this world as we speak. So that is number one. So you need to identify, what gifts do I have? That is the question you need to ask yourself. What gifts do I have? Do I have any gift? And I want to let you know that there is no one in this room or in this world that does not have one gift or another. So it depends on how you are able to locate your gifts, how you are able to identify your gifts. What is that thing that you know how to do naturally without stress? What is that thing that you just feel like, I need to get more knowledge about this thing. I need to get more trained about this thing. Maybe there are people that just like driving. Naturally, just like driving. Not that they even know how to drive, but they just feel like, why do I like to just see, anytime I want to board the bus, I just want to sit in the front seat so that I can sit beside the driver. You see them driving with the driver. Meanwhile, if such a person is placed at the steering, that person cannot drive, but just feels like, oh, okay, then that person should go and learn to drive. And then you continue from there. All right. Then the other aspect of identifying your purpose is your calling. This is simply saying that what problem can that your gift solve? What problem is there any problem somewhere that this gift that I have, is there any problem that I can solve? So when we are talking about calling, we are talking about the kinds of problems that your gifts can solve, the kind of challenges that your gift can provide solution to. So once you are able to, if there is anything that you just feel like, I think I can help in this area, I think I can help in this area, I think I can help in solving this problem, then if you don't have the capability to do it at that moment you are feeling it, then go and get trained. Because when you identify, I'm going to round off in the next 2 minutes. When you identify your gifts and you see the problems that you can solve, having gifts does not automatically mean that you can utilize it. You must be trained. You must get trained. You must own that gift in you. You must develop it. Like there's a book by John C. Maxwell that says talent is not enough. I know some of us must have read that book. Talent is not enough. Now, in other words, when you have talent, when you have your potential, when you have identified that your gift, you now need to develop the gift. And that's where there's difference between being talented and being skilled. There are people that are talented, but they do not develop their talents into a skill. If you are skillful, it means that you know how to optimally utilize your skill. You know how to optimally utilize your gift to the level that anytime and anywhere you are called upon, you are able to make use of that your talent. You are able to make use of that your gift. You are able to bring about a solution in any situation. So with all this, that is how you can begin to identify your purpose and your potential, and then you'll be able to enter into any economy, into any nation, into any territory, either online or on-site, and you'll be able to provide solutions. So it's important that we identify our purpose. It's important that we identify our potential and begin to utilize them. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I believe that we've gotten value from these few minutes of teaching. I think there's going to be time about 5 minutes for questions. So I want to hand over the microphone back to Sister Faith before we proceed. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, she seems to be off, so no problem. We want to thank you, Dr. Alo, for that powerful talk. I really gained from it, and I pray the anointing of the Almighty upon you will not dry in Jesus' name. Can you hear me, please?
Amen. Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome.
We can hear you,
Awesome.
ma'am.
So if you have a question, please. This is
Yes,
question
ma'am.
and answer time.
Okay, so does anybody have a question? You can
Yeah,
just
hello,
type
good
it out.
afternoon. Okay.
You
Okay,
can
we should type it,
you
right?
can just type it out, or you could mute your mic, talk, and unmute yourself back. Like unmute your mic, talk, and mute yourself back.
Hello. Hello.
We can hear you. We can hear you, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Taro. Please, my phone mistakenly went off when he was talking about merging your potential and your focus. So can you just speak more on that, please? You know you have a potential that this is your focus. How do you now merge it to achieve your desired goal?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
After you've
Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you, Mr. Taiwo Kuye, for that question. When you identify that this is your purpose, I told us there are two ways to identify your purpose: through your giftings and your callings. So when you identify the gifts that you have in you, then you will now begin to, because your gifts will be tilting towards the challenge that you can solve, the problem that you can solve. That is how you identify what you are called to do. You can be called into a particular business because your gift can excel in that gift. For instance, when Joseph got to Egypt, his gift was tilting towards those that were having dreams and needed interpretation. No other thing could have helped could have helped Joseph to get to that level he got to if there was nobody that had a dream. It was until Pharaoh dreamt that Joseph was discovered. So what your gift usually does is it tilts and leads you towards where where that gift can be utilized, where those that need your gifts, those that need that which you have, that resource, that tool that is in you, where people will need it, that is where your gift will be tilting you to, either in academics, in business, in career, in ministry, in whatever you are doing. Your gift will always tilt towards where you can solve problems that gift is meant for. So that is how to identify your calling. So you match the two by saying that you look for how to identify problems and how to solve them. But as I said, you must also get trained, so that as you are being trained to utilize your gifts, you can identify more challenges, more problems. It may not be directly the way you think it will be, but the more you are getting trained, the more you will be able to identify, oh, I can solve this problem. I can solve this particular challenge. For instance, those that are developing AI programs today, about 5, 7, 10 years ago, they never imagined that such a thing could happen. But today, we can see how how the world is developing in technology and in different areas, and everything is going according to how people are getting developed. So the more you develop yourself, the more you be able to identify challenges, and then you'll be able to bring about solutions to them.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so very much. I am assured that Mr. Taiwo is already clear on this answer that he gave. Basically, our giftings and our callings work hand in hand, and that is why a lot of persons do what they do not enjoy. I remember she's a pastor's wife, about her life. She transitioned from being a veterinary doctor. She transitioned from taking care of animals to content writing for tech startups. And so a lot of people were like wondering, how did she do it? How did she, when she was finding something else that would give her the leverage of having to decide what she does with her time. She left being a veterinary doctor because it was so much stress and she was receiving less pay, and she also did not have time for herself. So because she wanted to have time for her family, herself, her other assignments in general, she decided to leave being an animal doctor for something else. But she was wondering, what is that thing she could do that she would not necessarily have to get a university degree for? So after so much thinking here and there, she realized that there was so much money in the tech industry, and then she knows that she doesn't love mathematics. She doesn't see herself like practicing maths or doing it for the money, because even in school, she said she failed it woefully. So when she knew that she couldn't learn to code because of her hatred for mathematics, calculations, anything calculations, just remove her out of it. So when she realized that tech industries need content writers to promote what they do, and she already had that inexplicable love for writing, she decided to delve into the writing industry. She took a lot of free resources and paid resources just to ensure that our writing skills are brushed and they become top-notch. And so when I read that story, as Pastor Alo was explaining giftings and callings, it made me remember her. Many times we may not start on the search for purpose on a good foot. We may not, in fact, you cannot know all your potential in a day. You cannot know your purpose in a day. It's not a one-day journey. It's not a one-day destination. Like it's a journey, like a lifetime process. And so when you understand that all that you do, I'm coming. I think I'm hearing. Please, somebody's mic is on. Somebody's mic is on. Somebody's mic is on, please. Can you mute yourself? Can this person? I don't know. Please, ma, can you mute this person, ma? So that we can have freedom of speech and will not be clashing. Okay. Please, let's all mute our mics. Please, let's all mute our mics. I was trying to see if I could mute it on my hand. Please mute your mics. Thank you. Please, so we can have clarity of speech. So when Pastor Alo was explaining that our giftings and our callings are very pivotal, like they are very necessary if we want to make the most of our life and we want to attain great heights. You want to live that life that would make you happy. A lot of people are doing things that they are not enjoying. So that's where potential comes in place. There are a lot of innate abilities that you never knew existed in you unless you begin to intentionally want to find them out. And like Pastor Alo said, your giftings, your callings are pointers into what these things are. And so I'll be calling on the next speaker, Tonia, Precious Oboidhe. I don't know if I pronounced the name well. Prior to now, I tried to pronounce it, but then the H factor is not allowing me. But then it's a pleasure to have him here tonight, this evening. Like I saw him right from the very moment we started, even before the opening prayer, he has been here. And so let me read his profile to us so we can know that he's not just somebody that started freelance writing yesterday. He's not somebody that started today. Like, it's been a while. Let me read his profile to us. Precious Oboidhe started his freelance writing journey from humble beginnings, but has grown to the point where he charges $1,000 to write a piece of content. A master's degree holder from the University of Ibadan, Precious writes for major tech brands and has focused on his practice. He believes anyone can do what he has done, and recently he is committed to creating a course for upcoming. He has here because he is passionate about letting upcoming writers know what works. Is something about someone that has worked stressful for you, and you know what roadblocks to avoid and what potholes to avoid, what loopholes to block. And so that's why he's here, and we are so grateful to have him on this platform. He'll be teaching us on how to get high-paying freelance writing clients. A lot of newbie freelance writers just want to start writing in a day and jump right into it. They just want to make money from the very first day they start writing, but Sir Precious is here to teach us how to get high-paying clients. Over to you, Sir Precious.
Thank you very much. I really want to appreciate Iyabo for getting me onto the show. I appreciate it. So with a lot of time for us spent, I would dive right into my slides and start getting into the meat of exactly why we're here. So I'll share my screen. I'm wondering if everyone can see my slide. Can everyone see my slide, please?
Yes, you can. I can see it. I can see it loud and clear.
All right, makes sense. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you for the brief introduction, but I'll quickly run through who I am. I'm Precious. I'm currently a freelance content strategist and writer. I work mostly with software companies. I started out on Fiverr, right? So I started from the ground up, where people pay $5 for a piece of content, you know, an article, very small article. It doesn't need to be so detailed and stuff like that. You know, that kind of writing where you just run to Google what's on the first page, and then you write the whole thing and stuff like that. So that was how I started. I started during my master's degree program. That was in 2017. From there, I moved to Upwork because I had a particular issue with Fiverr then. I was briefly at Upwork before I jumped on LinkedIn. While I was on LinkedIn, I got a job with an agency. When I first got a job with an agency, I lost it after 1 month. And then I kept on posting, creating content, right? And then I got another job about 3 or 4 months later. And then I worked with that particular agency for 9 months. And when the whole of this recession thing started, the agency had to let go of some persons. I was let go with some of my colleagues, and then I started freelancing again. And that's when I started working with companies like HubSpot, CoSchedule, and some very popular software companies and even agencies as well. So with that being said, I'm sure the goal of every writer out there is to make a boatload of cash. So I don't know if anybody has watched Money Heist. So if you watch Money Heist, I mean, I'm sure you know, I think his name is Denver. So when they finally got into the vaults of the bank where they were conducting a heist, and he was so happy, right? He has gotten to his final destination, the goal of everything he has been planning with his colleagues. He has finally achieved it, and you see, he was so happy getting on top of the money and stuff like that. But the truth is, before you get to this particular point, there are lots of things you must do before you are able to go from let's say even 50 to 100, and then to 500, and then to 1,000. I mean, there are persons who charge even up to 2,000 USD for a piece of content. Of course, all of these depend on a lot. So before you dive in and before you start thinking about how do I get here, I've quickly outlined what we need, what you need. The first thing is 4 things must align for you to get a high-paying client. The first one is the client's need. What do they want? Does the client want a blog post? Does the client want a case study? Does the client want an ebook? Does the client want a sales page? Whatever it is, that's the first thing. Now, the client needs to align with your writing chops. Are you good with what you're doing? Are you a solid writer? When you say you're writing a blog post, are you just doing what every other upcoming, I don't want to use the word mediocre, right? But to be honest, that's just what it is. Every person who is just starting, the basic thing they do, I was once there, right? I was once a mediocre. So the basic thing they do is to go on Google, start searching, get 1 or 2 content and start writing, just getting ideas here and there. Is that the kind of content you want to be providing to the client? The answer is no. People who pay very good money for content, they don't need those kind of write-ups, right? So your writing chops need to be very good. It needs to be solid. And then your perceived value. Your perceived value obviously is not, many persons, they always tell you, people that have gone from maybe they were earning 50,000 USD to maybe 100, they'll tell you, it's not like the quality of my writing increased by a lot. The quality of the writing didn't increase by a lot. What increased by a lot is their perceived value. Their perceived value, it comes from a lot of things, which I'm going to be covering as we discuss further. And then the last thing is the proximity of what you are creating for the clients to revenue. Now, what does that mean? If you're creating a blog post, for instance, is that blog post able to fetch the clients lots of customers immediately? Okay, if the blog post is not getting the client customers instantly, is that blog post able to convince people to sign up for the customers, let's say email list or newsletter, right? Is it able to do something? Is it able to make people to take action so that the client can further nurture the prospects that he has on his list? So the proximity to revenue also plays a huge role in how much a client would want to pay for a piece of content. So for instance, if I'm writing a piece of content that I know that, let's say this particular piece would, I'm not even sure it's going to give me revenue right away, it's going to be so difficult for me to pay a lot of money for that content. It's just business, right? That is just how it is. It's business. So that's that. So provided you have a client who needs something, a client who understands the value of good content, and then your writing shops are solid, and then your perceived value in the market is high, and then you're creating content that can generate revenue for a client, obviously you're going to get high paying clients, because I mean, all of this takes a lot of process to build out. So that's the next thing I'm going to be talking about now. Now, to get deep pocket freelance writing client, I found out that lots of the major ways that works today is LinkedIn, networking, having a website, using communities, and then getting on a platform that, of course, many people don't like, but Upwork. I mean, I know many people don't like Upwork. Many people don't like Fiverr as well. I purposely did not put Fiverr here because I've used both Upwork and Fiverr, and I can tell you for real that Upwork is a lot better in terms of the kind of clients they attract. Now, for LinkedIn, if you want to use LinkedIn to get high-paying clients, the assumption here is that your writing shops is solid. The assumption here is that you know the client you are serving. And the assumption is also that you want to build your perceived value, and then you know how to create assets that drive revenue. So those are a lot of assumptions already. Okay, so LinkedIn. I always think about LinkedIn this way, that it's a playground where you could increase your perceived value in the market. So, say I'm a writer. Sorry, someone trying to say something. Right, so say I'm a writer. I want to increase my perceived value in the market. The best place I will go to is LinkedIn. Now, the reason I'm going to LinkedIn is because I know for sure that many of my clients, or the kind of clients I want to attract, I know that they are on LinkedIn, right? So if you find out that your own clients, if you find out that your own clients are not on LinkedIn, you can decide, okay, if my client is on Facebook, I should be on Facebook. If my client is on Twitter, I should be on Twitter, right? So for me, personally, I find that most of my clients are on LinkedIn, so I'm mostly on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is a place where you use it to improve your perceived value in the market. So you're just creating content, you're publishing content, and when people see all of this content, they feel like, okay, this person knows what he's doing, and they engage with you and they want to work with you, right? Now, for you to use LinkedIn, the first thing to do is to get your profile in order. So what I mean by that is your about section needs to be properly written. Your profile picture needs to be very professional. It shouldn't be, I mean, don't have a profile picture that looks like you are hungry, right? Let me just use the words as it is. I don't want to sugarcoat it. But when you see the profile pictures of some persons, it looks like they're hungry. It looks like they're begging for work. Don't have such kind of profile picture. Take a very professional profile picture. This profile picture you're seeing here is what I use mostly for all of my profiles, right? Even down to my website. I took this picture, I went to a studio and I took this picture. That was like 2 years ago. I haven't changed it for a long time, but I mean, if you want to be professional, be professional. Have a good profile picture, ensure that it's clear, ensure that it's sharp, ensure that it portrays who you are, like, right? You're not begging, you're not hungry. And besides your profile picture, you want to clearly state who you serve. And you're doing that in your about section, sorry, in your LinkedIn header, right? So if you're, for instance, I'm a content strategist and writer, but most of my clients are software companies or call them SaaS companies, I could just say content strategist and writer for SaaS companies, something like that. Say who you are, what you do, how you help them, and then the kind of results they can get. Also, if you've generated results for your clients, you could include that in your profile as well. For example, let's say I've generated, let's say, revenue, for instance, which is something good, which is something people love to see. I could say content strategist and writer for SaaS companies who want to grow their revenue by 5x. And then you don't just say stuff like that, because stuff like that is vague. When someone gets on your profile and they see that, okay, you say you grow revenue by 5x. When they get on your about section on LinkedIn, now that's where you want to expand on what you mentioned initially. So if you're saying you grew revenue by 5x, what's the name of the company's revenue you grew by 5x? What was their situation before you grew them by 5x? You want to include all of that in your about section. Now, but for someone who is new to the game, you could start with something basic. You could use your writing chops. You could prove your writing ability, say what you do, right? You don't need to think about this so much. You could get inspiration from many other writers out there. So what you can do, if you're new, if you haven't, let's say, published any piece of content before on LinkedIn and just want to start out, my advice to you would be go out there on LinkedIn, search for content writer, for instance. Narrow your search down using LinkedIn filters. You could use their location filter. You could say maybe you want to filter to US, United States, or you want to filter to the United Kingdom, or you want to filter to Nigeria, right? So when you do all of these filters, you see a lot of profiles. Now use those profiles, open all of those profiles, look at what the about section looks like, and then use that as inspiration to create something for yourself. Now, once your profile is completely set up, you have your header, you have your profile picture, you have your featured image, you have your about section, and then you have your featured post as well. Once all of those are set up, the next thing you need to start thinking about is to connect with your ideal clients. Now, who are your ideal clients? Obviously, you're looking for high-paying clients. So again, let me go under the broad assumption that, let's say you work for a SaaS company or you work for a software company, because these are some of the people who pay very good money, right? So if, for example, your goal is to connect with software companies, you have to start asking yourself, how do I find these people? How do I connect with them? If I'm connecting with, let's say you want to connect with someone in a company and that company, there are 200 persons working in that company. How do you know the exact person you need to reach out to? Now that's an issue, right? It sounds like an issue. So what you need to do is you need to start thinking about the people who are likely to hire you. And those are managing editors. Those are content marketing editors. Those are content marketing managers. Those are content leads. They can also be content marketing leads. They can also be VP of marketing. They can be marketing managers. So these are all keywords that these people who are likely to hire you will be using on their own profile. So if you want to connect with these people, you just need to start searching marketing manager, content marketing manager, marketing lead, vice president of marketing, and so on and so forth. Now, there are other ways you can also find these clients, these people. You can also find them in communities, right? You can find them through their websites. There are multiple ways, but those are just the major ways. So if you're looking for people who are likely to hire you, you need to start looking at how you connect with vice presidents of marketing, content marketing managers, marketing editors, director of content, head of content, head of marketing. All of these roles, these are people likely to hire you. Now, I'm going to be lying to you if I tell you, you just jump on LinkedIn and start connecting with these folks and they would accept your connection request. That's a big lie. Many of them won't accept your connection request. And the reason is, normally when you connect with these people or when you send them a connection request on LinkedIn, the first thing they will do is they will look at your profile. If they look at your profile and they see a picture that doesn't look like someone who is a professional, they will just ignore your connection request or they will just cancel it. So what does that mean? A professional wants to connect with a professional. Now, after they've looked at your profile, this brings us to the next thing that they will likely look at, which is your content. Are you publishing content on LinkedIn? I mean, what's the goal of connecting with the VP of marketing if you don't have content that shows you know what you're doing, content that shows you know your stuff? You need to publish content on LinkedIn to show that you know what you're doing, you know how to get results for clients, right? So, I mean, there are lots of content you can publish. Time won't allow me to go deep into that, but you need to publish content, and then you need to engage with others. If you want to go far on basically any social media platform, even any community, you need to be engaging with people. You need to, when they make a post, you need to comment, right? You need to mention what you like about the post. Do you disagree with something? Say it and say it nicely. Do you disagree with something? Say it and say it nicely.
Please, can you mute your mic? Please. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right.
Yeah, thank you. So the next step is to identify and flow with trends. So on LinkedIn, most times you see maybe a poll is doing well, people creating polls and asking people questions. Those are stuff that the algorithm likes a lot. And then most recently, the algorithm seems to like carousel posts. That's like PDF slides. The algorithm seems to like it. So when you create a piece of content like that, you have the opportunity to get more reach. And the more reach you get, the more chances that someone out there who fits your ideal client profile will see that piece of content you created. They'll probably like it. They'll probably visit your profile. They'll probably see every other thing that convinces them that you can deliver, and they'll probably send you a message, begin a conversation, and you can take it up from there and close them as a client. Now, the last thing about LinkedIn is to use your DM. Many people shy away from using LinkedIn DM, and I know that that's for a good reason. People don't want to feel like they're trying to sell to other persons. So most times they avoid LinkedIn DM and they don't use it. But trust me, that is where the sales actually happen. If you're not using your LinkedIn DM, you need to start using it. If you're sending a cold pitch to someone, you need to do it and do it nicely. Even if many people say, oh, don't send a pitch on your first conversation with somebody, there's a way you can write a pitch and to make sense to the other person. It will feel like this person is going to benefit, right? But then you also need to ensure that you know what you're doing and you can deliver as well. So now, this is an example of a conversation I had with a prospect on LinkedIn. Before I sent this message to the prospects, I had sent a message previously, like 9 months ago. The prospect didn't respond. This person I'm talking about is the VP of marketing of a SaaS company. He didn't respond. So I told the prospect, I saw you on the podcast of, let's say, Iyabo's podcast. I like what you said about this. It was nice. I agree with it and stuff like that. So I sent it. The prospect didn't respond. So I was on LinkedIn one day and then I saw the person, he put out a post and said he was looking for writers to help him write a particular piece of content, which was seemingly difficult. So I sent him a message as well. I said, I saw your post. I would like to help you out with this piece of content. And then he told me, of course, I should proceed. So I went on, started researching about the piece of content. Unfortunately, I didn't get really good information I needed to put that piece of content. And then I went back to him. I was honest about it. And I told him, hey, I didn't find information about this content. It seems to be so difficult to, put something together about this particular topic. And he was like, okay, fine. I agree with you. It's true. I mean, getting information on this topic is very hard, I understand. And then he concluded by saying, if you have ideas for any other piece of content, please let me know. And then I was like, cool, that makes sense. So I sent him this message and I said, hi, I saw your post and I would like to help with this writing project. Since listening to your thoughts with the podcast host, I've been a silent fan and I've been thrilled to work with you. Here are some of my work, linked to one of them, the second link, and then I look forward to hearing from you. And then I shared the link to the job post that he created. Now, why did I send this particular message like this? By telling him or reminding him that since I listened to your thoughts on this particular podcast, even though it's 9 months ago, it makes the person feel like this person is really interested in me. Like this person likes me, likes what I do. I mean, why not? Why wouldn't I want to work with this person? It's just natural for humans to be attracted to people who like them, right? So by tailoring my message like this, it makes the persons feel like you are vibing on the same level, on the same frequency with him or her. And then after I sent that message, so this was the response. Thank you for reaching out. I like your post on how Power BI videos comparison post, blah, blah, blah. Out of curiosity, how much do you typically charge for research articles of about 1,500 to 2,000 words best? And then I sent him a response. We closed the deal. We did the job. The work is published, right? So you can see how the whole progression started. Like I mentioned before, on slide 4, I'd like to just reference it again. You need to have a client that needs something. You need to have the writing shops. Now, if you look here, when I sent a message, the person responded and said, I like this particular post you wrote. Meaning what? The person has seen something that he likes and believes that I have the writing shop to be able to help him out and do something that is nice. Already, the person sees my value because he'll probably have checked my profile and seen that, okay, this person publishes a lot of content. He definitely knows what he's talking about. So it is okay, right, for you to just have client need, writing shops, and then you skip this perceived value, and then you go down to your proximity to revenue. Now, even if you skip this part, it doesn't mean that you can't get a high paying client. It just means that you need to do a lot of more hard work to convince the client, as the client is not aligned with you on maybe pricing and stuff. You now need to go the extra mile. But by increasing your perceived value, but through posting of content already on the platform, you make the client to see your value instantly. Now, the second method is networking. Now, by networking, I mean, for instance, let's say I know Iyabo knows me, and let's say I meet Iyabo, I say, Iyabo, I'm kind of stressed out right now. I don't have a lot of clients. Do you have a lot of clients on your plate? Is there someone you could refer to me and stuff like that? Iyabo says, oh, yes, I have 1 or 2 persons I could refer to you. That makes sense. That is simply networking. That is me connecting with my peers, and then they refer clients to me. Now, people will only refer people who talk about their work. What does that mean? I can't know if I wouldn't know Iyabo today if I didn't see her publishing content on LinkedIn. That's a fact. If she wasn't talking about content on LinkedIn, I would never know her. But because she does that and she does it consistently, I know. Now, like I said, Iyabo publishes content consistently on LinkedIn, so I know her because of that. So if she comes to my inbox, for instance, and tells me she's strapped of clients, she doesn't have clients, and she needs assistance. If I have 1 or 2 persons, I feel like, okay, I can refer this person to you. I can do it, and that's because I know her already. Now, the second thing about networking is that people refer those who can deliver. Before I refer you, personally, I'm talking about myself. Before I refer you to a client, I want to be sure that you can deliver for the client. I don't just want to refer anybody and then the person messes up, right? Sorry, let me quickly. Okay. I don't want to refer a client and the person messes up. So I want to ensure that if I'm referring you, your portfolio is in order and then you can deliver. So that brings us back again to writing shops. Your writing shops need to be good for someone to refer you. The third thing is your first message to your fellow peers shouldn't be about work. For instance, when Iyabo connected with me at first, I think she connected and she was like, I want to get your insights on what you think about freelance writing, something. It was related to freelance writing, something that was going to help newbie freelancers, right? So it shouldn't be about work. It shouldn't be about you and you alone. Provide some form of value to the person. Then the person will be very open to assist you. And then the fourth way is to seek ways to add value to your network. I've explained that. And then the fifth thing to note about networking is that if you don't ask, you get nothing. If you close your mouth and you are like, okay, I'm suffering, let me take my suffering. I'm not going to ask anybody. I don't want to disturb anybody. Well, nobody is going to know you are going through pains if you don't talk. So you must be willing to talk with your network. Of course, it will be easier to talk when you've built a relationship already with these people. And then the sixth thing is to keep your request simple. You don't need to dive into a lot of details. Just make it so simple. And then the last thing is to ensure you're nurturing your network. Ensure you're in touch. Ensure you keep communicating, right? Find ways to open conversations so that you ensure that you remain top of mind among your peers. Now, here's a simple conversation I had with someone. So someone initiated a conversation and said, good afternoon. How's your day going? I am in between writing gigs at the moment. Do you have anyone in your network that you could refer me to? Thanks. I said, not right away. I'll let you know if any opportunity opens up. And then, sorry. So I got this particular message you see right here. This was someone who, he reached out to me. He was looking at getting a content marketer in his company. But during our discussion, I was like, no, I'm not a fit for you, but I'll be happy to recommend others. And then he talked to me and said, all right, can you make any recommendations? We're looking for someone with experience. Please, it's very important. When I talked about writing shops, you could see from all of the slides that people are looking for someone with experience. They don't want just anybody. So you need to have that dialed in. So I was looking for someone with experience creating B2B content and managing other writers. And I said, okay, fine, I may have. What's the salary range? And he said 250 to 350,000 naira. And I was like, okay, fine. So I actually sent this person to this person who requested for a gig. And then he got back to me later on and said, I couldn't close that person because he said I wasn't a fit. Why did he say it wasn't a fit? Probably he has checked out his content, or maybe even started with his LinkedIn profile and he felt like, no, I don't think this person is professional enough to help us out. And then that was just it. So your writing shop needs to be dialed in, your portfolio needs to be dialed in, your LinkedIn profile needs to be dialed in, right? All of those needs to check out for clients who pay good money to reach out. Mind you, this person who talked about 250 to 350K, I told the person initially, I was like, even an intern, you should be looking at 1K in terms of 1,000 USD. So this is not all of the conversation we had, but that's that. Now, the next thing is your website. I think my time is fast spent, so I'll run through. The next thing is your website. So most clients, they would love to hire someone who is not scared to publish content on their own website. I mean, you're able to put yourself out there. It takes a lot of courage to do that. A good thing about website is that you can use it to build your portfolio. So if you're just starting out, you don't have a portfolio, you can use your website to learn. Creating content on your website gives you a lot of advantage. You are able to learn SEO by yourself. You are able to create content by yourself. You're able to publish content by yourself. All of these skills, they will come in handy. You might need someone who wants to write content, and let's say the title, for instance, if someone comes to you and says, I want to write content about 10 best WordPress plugins for, let's say, e-commerce businesses, for instance. If you haven't used WordPress before, how do you start figuring out which plugin is good enough for WordPress, for e-commerce businesses on WordPress? I mean, you start going through a lot of struggle, right? But if it's something you've been doing because you use your website to build a portfolio, it becomes a lot easier. Now, when you're on your website, you want to ensure you're publishing content that targets your ideal customers. So if you're picking a niche, for instance, let's say you want to write for financial services companies or fintech SaaS companies, for instance, you want to publish content that targets them. Your content should target them specifically. And then the next thing about your website to note is writing is now table stakes. There are many writers out there. So strategy is important. Understanding strategy is important. And that simply means, why are we doing what we are doing? Why are we taking this route? So you need to understand that as well. On your website is a great place to share your processes. So recently I wrote on my blog how I write and research for, I do content research rather for B2B SaaS blog post. So I was just sharing my process, right? And then be sure you are proud of what you publish. You want to be sure. Don't just because we say, okay, you can use your website to publish anything. I mean, it's yours, but you don't just want to hit publish on anything. It shouldn't be crap. It should be something that makes sense, something that can help people and add value to them. And lastly, you want to promote your content. That's where your LinkedIn comes in again. So you want to, every content you create on your website, take it to LinkedIn, you promote it there, right? I mean, you're proud of what you did. So let us see it. So this is just an example of a client who reached out to me because of the content they saw on my website. We're a small real estate company, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, he reached out, I closed the deal, we started working, even though everything didn't go as planned because I was working at an agency at the time. So I didn't have time to really focus on the client, but this is just to tell you that creating content works. So your website can work for you if you are really dedicated to it. And then the next thing is communities. So similar to LinkedIn, you want to find communities that contain your ideal clients. An example, which I always talk about, is Superpart. Superpart is a writing community. So when you get on Superpart, you want to ensure you are engaging with the community. And then from there, you could even see lots of persons who are VPs of marketing, editors, and stuff like that. If you find out that this person needs a writer, for instance, why not go and connect with the person? Connect with the person. You can, instead of you trying to compete with lots of writers, you can initiate a conversation on LinkedIn with a person. When you kick off that conversation, you take it from there, and who knows, the client might have something for you. The client could jump on your profile. If the conversation makes sense, before you know it, you could have a job in your hand. So the fourth thing about communities is be mindful of pitch slapping. People don't like that in communities where you just start sending random messages to anybody. So be mindful of that. Another thing about communities, you can use it to grab content ideas. So for example, I was in Superpart and I was always seeing a particular question come up. Can I have examples of case studies of SaaS brand? Can I have examples of case studies? That question kept coming up. So I decided, why not write something about it? So I created a simple blog post, 9 B2B case study examples for SaaS companies, something like that. And then after creating the post, I shared it on LinkedIn, tagged the community name, right? And then, I mean, people from the community, they will see it, they will engage with it, they will like it, because this is a question that they have always been asking. So I'm just answering their question. By doing that, lots of people get to see me, get to see my content. Some persons who like the content, from there, they could decide to jump on my website. From my website, they could come down to my LinkedIn. They'll see all of these things coming together and they'll be like, okay, this person is an expert at what he does, and they'll probably reach out. When you are on communities, you want to avoid controversies as much as possible. And lastly, you want to promote your content. So irrespective of the community you're in, lots of communities do have channels where they allow you to promote your content. So you want to take advantage of that. So I got this prospect from a community. So initially the conversation started from a community, right? So I saw the person post on the community and said, I'm looking for freelance writers who can help me with blah, blah, blah. And I applied, and then I got an email and they said, next round, we think you'll be a great fit for blog content at social company, want to invite you to take this writing test and, you know, stuff like that. So that's what can happen when you are in a community, or when you are in the right place, right? So I was in the right place. I saw the gig, I applied, and, you know, it could go on from there. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is Upwork. When you're on Upwork, please ensure you are setting up an excellent profile. Excellent profile means you are doing every single thing that they ask you to do. And that will mean you're not just filling out your name and your details, you are filling out the school you went to. You are taking advantage of including a portfolio. Take advantage of Upwork has something that looks like Fiverr today, where you post your gigs. So if, for example, you offer multiple services, let's say you know how to write an article, you know how to write an ebook, you know how to write a sales page, you can create gigs for those different services. So take advantage of all of those things so that you set your profile, or you set yourself up for success. Second thing about Upwork is I would advise that you have a portfolio of content. If you don't have one, please get one. It's attractive. It makes sense. People are always attracted to people who have a body of work. On Upwork, the beginning is always rough, so I would encourage you to embrace it if you want to build on Upwork. Create great proposals. Develop thick skin. When you send proposal on Upwork, you will not get the response, you'll not get much response like you would like, especially when you're just starting out. So it's important that you develop this skin and you keep sending proposals. You don't want to give up. And then with time, you keep refining your proposals, right? And then you ensure you're sticking to every rule that Upwork has set. So this is a proposal that I used to seal a client on Upwork. This was a couple of years ago. So, I mean, you can steal this proposal. It's very basic, not so detailed. Hi, I saw your request for a professional SEO content writer. I can help. Yeah, some of my content. Publish posts. 1, 2, 3. And then besides my writing, my ability to write clearly with excellent copywriting tools, which I highlighted in one of my posts. I also thoroughly understand on page SEO and how it impacts revenue. You'll find some of my work here. Currently, some of my posts ranks on page 1 of Google for keywords like this and this. And then I also contribute to the SEO community and share my thoughts with other experts. I believe will make a great relationship if we decide for us to work together. So these are just very simple tips that could, I still work with this client to this day, this particular person. I still work with this client to this day. And that was because of what I kept sending those proposals, and I kept refining my proposals as time went on, and that was it. And I sealed the client, and we are still working till today. So thank you very much for listening. I'm sure you've gotten something. It's time for you to go out there and make money. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
So much, sir. We are so grateful. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to ask Mr. Precious. You can just type it in the comment section, or you don't mute yourself. Okay, I see a question right here. Said, how do you know your value? Or better still, place value on yourself? That's the question, sir.
How do you know your value? I am not sure I understand what that question means.
Or better still, place value on yourself.
Yeah, the person wants to elaborate on exactly.
I think the person might. Okay, but the person sent it. It's the person did not send it directly to the message box. Probably the person doesn't want to be known. But if I am right, I think what the person means is that how do I, let's say there are many writers, different kind of writers. Some people get paid $200, $50. Now, how do I get to that level whereby people would think me valuable? I think that's what the person is trying to say, that people will regard me as somebody that is worthy of their dollars. I think that's the right word to use. I'm trying to make it very clear.
Meeting, please.
What do you say, sir?
Okay, so sorry, I lost you for a second, but I'll try to answer your question. How do you know your value? So I believe the person is trying to talk about how do I know exactly that I'm at this stage of my writing career where I can charge that.
Exactly.
I think it would be, so one way to do it is ask yourself, the writers in this particular niche, what's the kind of content they are creating? So when I send my samples to clients, I'm not just sending them a sample that is in Google Doc. I personally don't like that. I send them my published work, something that is online, either on my website or on another website. Now, when you do that, you're proving your value already to the client. So instantly your value will not be apparent. When you just start something, you can't just be good at it. You don't get to the top of the mountain by climbing from the top. You start from the bottom. So you need to, first of all, take that first step. Have you even published anything online? Have you published something on your website? Publish something. Let us see it. Let everybody see it. Look at it. When you take a look at it, take a look at the content of similar persons in that industry. So let's say I'm in SaaS, right? I write for software companies. Now, if you look at my content and if you look at yours, when you read both of them, do you think that both of them, they match in terms of quality? If they don't match in terms of quality, then you can be rest assured that there's no way you would want to earn something similar to what I earn. I don't know if that makes sense. So
yes, it does
you just need to make comparisons, right? You want to follow people who are in your niche. So if, for example, you are writing generally for software companies, follow other writers who write content for software companies. Look at their content. Look at yours. Is the quality on the same level? If you want to know about writers, you want to find out their portfolio quickly, you could use something like You could just type the name of the person on Google and then just add something like mock rack. That's, for example, if I want to see the content that Iyabo has written all her life, it won't contain everything though, but at least I'll see lots of them. I can say something like Iyabo Oyawale mock rack. So I put it in the chat there. So that's an aggregator of people's content. So it aggregates lots of content that you write online. So you could use that to, I mean, if you do that for myself, you see a lot of the content I've written as well. So that's just it. When you get that benchmark and see if your quality is good enough.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. There's another question here. How do you form a long-term relationship with marketing managers who are in charge of authoritative sites like HubSpot?
Okay, now you don't need to use every single strategy. Okay, let me put it this way. If, for example, I want to get into HubSpot, for instance, it would be so hard for me to find the exact person who is going to be in charge of hiring writers, of hiring freelance writers. It would be so hard because HubSpot has a ton of employees, right? So one way I did it personally was through a referral. I asked someone, I know you write for this. That's why I talked about, when I talked about networking, I said people will hire people they trust to deliver. So I reached out to someone, a friend, and I told them, I'd like to write for us, but can you connect me if you don't mind? And he was open to it. And he connected me with the editor. He just gave me the name of the person. And then I reached out to the person. I was like, I'm open to writing clients. So if you have need for writers, do let me know. And then they reached out and they were like, we have need for writers. Now that was short and sweet, simple, right? But then it depends on, if you are building a relationship, you want to ask yourself, are you building a relationship with the right person? Are you building a relationship with somebody who can refer you? Now, people will always build relationship with people who are at their level. What that means is, for example, the CEO of HubSpot will not be chatting with a CEO in Nigeria, or it's not, let me not use, that's too broad. Will not be chatting with a CEO that is a company that nobody knows. That CEO, the CEO of HubSpot, won't take it as what? A good use of his time. It's not because he's looking down on that person, but it's just because what is there for me to gain from this relationship? So if you are chatting with, let's say, the marketing manager of someone in HubSpot, for instance, have you built your credentials to the point where they feel like, okay, this person is making sense? First of all, are you even making sense in your discussion? So if you make sense, what are you talking about? If you remember, I talked about the fact that I referenced a podcast that one of my clients appeared on. And then I was like, I agreed with this point you made, this other point you made. So that proves your expertise already, proves like you know marketing. You are going beyond the content. So those are the ways you form relationship. You want to form relationship on their own level. I would like to take us back to the slide and show us something there. Sorry, have I shared my screen? Oh, no.
No, it's not showing. It was
All
showing
right.
before.
Okay, it's showing now. So I would like to show us something. If you take a look at this particular screenshot, I don't know if it's very clear on your end. You would see that there is no spacing after good afternoon, full stop. There's no spacing. You see that, how is your day going? I am. There is no spacing between the question mark and I. You continue down to, do you have anyone? You see that there's no spacing. Now, these are little things that a prospect will pick. It sounds so little, right? It sounds like something we should ignore. But if you make such kind of mistakes with a prospect, they already feel like this person is going to mess up, like you don't know what you're doing. So you want to take note of little things like that. When you build yourself to the level where you are able to write for us, trust me, you'll know what to say, right? So you just have to start from the bottom up. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Okay, maybe network has locked her out.
Oh,
So
okay.
the next question we have here is freelance writing. What's that written about? Is it based on articles or what? That's a question somebody just sent. Is freelance writing based on articles or what?
Okay. Now, freelance writing, there are lots of things you can do as a freelance writer. You can write blog posts. You can write case studies. You can write ebooks. You can write sales pages. Now, a blog post is, I mean, if you get on any blog, I'm sure we've seen a blog before. We know Linda Ikeji's blog, right? That one is very popular. But we're not talking about Linda Ikeji and the kind of content she writes here. We're talking about content that drives revenue for companies. In this case, for instance, for me, I write for software companies. So if, for example, okay, I would just share my screen again so that whatever I'm explaining makes sense to anybody. Now, when we talk about blog, we all know what a blog is. So you can write a simple blog post that looks like this. This is a blog post. When we're talking about case studies, we're looking at what happened to the person before, what happened to the person when the person used a particular solution, and what happens to the person after the person used a particular solution. So for this particular blog post, for instance, this blog post is about 9 B2B case study examples worthy of your swipe file. So I was talking about this, the post I was talking about where I mentioned I got it from a community. People were asking about case study examples, and I said, okay, let me write something about it. And then I wrote about this, right? So this case study, right? This is an aspect of freelance writing. You can decide to niche as a case study writer, right? You can decide to niche as a copywriter who writes sales pages. You can decide to niche as an ebook writer. So there are lots of things you can do as a writer. It's not just about writing blog posts. It's not just about case studies. It's not just about sales pages. You can be an email copywriter and lots of niches like that, if that helps.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
I think she's back. Okay.
Yes, so we'll be appreciating Sir Precious for that wonderful, insightful session. I forgot to mention Pastor Dr. Alo is on LinkedIn. You can follow him after this program ends, as well as Sir Precious is on LinkedIn. These people are people that have what you need as newbie writers and as people that want to tread the path of success, since they have been on this path and they know what it entails. Thank you so much, Sir Precious. Right about now, I'll be calling in Miss Tonia Vincent. Yes, I'll be calling her in. But before then, I want to read a profile to us. You might have known her because she's quite popular. I'm being careful to use popular. She's an influencer, so definitely you might have come across her profile on a couple of times on LinkedIn. She's an influencer, a social media manager, a coach. She helps people start and grow a profitable and strong online presence that would skyrocket their conversion. What this means is that she helps you become a strong brand. Like, you grow your brand, and you don't just grow your brand for the essence of growing it. You grow it and you are able to get conversions from your online presence. Tonia started building a personal brand as an undergraduate who was tired of the bad news of unemployment. She was able to grow her business and do it full time. She has mentored over 1,000 plus CEOs and brands on the anatomy of personal branding on LinkedIn. And she has influenced many brands to give them the visibility that they need. She believes that personal branding is the future of sales. She imparts her knowledge to others so they can brand themselves in the right way. She has been here with us like from the start of this conference, and so I'll be calling her right in. Let us appreciate Miss Tonia as she comes in.
All right, Faith, thank you so much. I am so happy to be here. Okay, so let's dive into today's topic on how to start a profitable social media business. If you want to be a social media manager, how do I start? And one of the questions that I get from aspiring social media managers is, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, ma.
All right,
We can.
Okay, so one of the questions that I get from aspiring social media managers is, Tonia, do I need to have a related experience for me to be a social media manager, or maybe have a certificate or degree for me to be a social media manager? My answer is no. You don't need all those things. So you should focus more on building a profitable brand, building a sustainable brand. And sustainable brand is a long-term goal. It's not a short-term goal. And more powers to you if you already have a degree or certificate. But to succeed as a social media manager, what you need the most is skills, not degree. Because you can still have degree and still not really get it. So social media is more about having the experience, going all out to get the experience, being the social media savvy. So has to do more with putting yourself out there. You should focus more on polishing your social media skills and build a strong portfolio. And for you to start, you have to start from somewhere. You can start from learning about you, your strengths, your weaknesses, because you have to make sure that this thing I'm about to do right now, is this something that fits me? Is this something that I can do? And before you become a social media manager, there are certain questions that you need to ask yourself to know whether a social media manager is something that you're willing to do long term. You have to ask yourself, would I be happy to tweak my strategies to increase engagement and conversion? You on your own, would you be happy if a plan didn't work, maybe for the whole month or 3 months? Would you be happy to sit down and tweak everything for it to work? Do you enjoy strategizing content that inspire, educate, and promote a brand on social media? How strong are your design skills? Do you black on idea of creating images or videos if necessary? So when a client asks you, oh, Tony, I need you to create a video for me, or an image or carousel, do you just back out at it? Or is this something that, even if you cannot handle it, you can just outsource it? You already have people that can actually do it. Then are you the type that enjoys using several apps and software? And would you consider yourself a good writer? These are the most important questions that you need to ask yourself before you think about being a social media manager. And the first step to start, if you want to be a social media man, the first step to start is to get the real world experience. You can get a course if you want to. That's actually great. I think getting a course is actually the first thing. It's actually the first place to start. But I always tell people that knowledge without implementation is a waste. It is not about you getting that course. It's about you learning it and implementing it to make sure that your social media is booming. So get a course, learn about the social media management, how you can start, how the hashtag strategy, content strategy, social media strategy, and many other things that comes with the starter course on social media. Then when you have done that, then start implementing, because even when you start working with a client, if you're just there, maybe after going through the course, you're just there hoping that, okay, if I get a client, I will start immediately, I'll start to give them results and all of that. It doesn't work that way. Till this time, if I want to do anything, if I want to implement a new strategy, I'll first of all do it with my brand, like experiment it with my own brand before I'll do it for a client. So that's just the most part of being a social media manager. That's just the side part of it, of being a social media manager. Then you have to build a social media presence. If you're going to ask someone to hire you on social media, you need to have a portfolio. And there's no better portfolio than social media accounts you run. As a social media manager, there is no better portfolio than your page or your client's page. And if you're still a newbie, maybe you don't have clients yet, then your page is your portfolio. I always tell people, because there are social media managers who are not even new in the industry, because once they have clients that are paying them very well, they'll just feel like, okay, let me relax a bit, and maybe since I already have clients, I don't even see any need of me posting again on my social media accounts. It doesn't work that way, because possibility is that you can even lose those clients that you have tomorrow. As a social media manager, you should be more careful. Build your social media presence, have a winning strategy for you to grow. You have to keep on learning and keep growing. So manage your accounts very well. Take very good care of your account. On LinkedIn, I always advise people, because I really love LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn a lot. I love Instagram as well, but I think LinkedIn does the magic for me, because I started my career on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, you should understand that social media optimization is very important. Social media management, it has to do with knowing your target audience. You don't say everybody is your target audience. Maybe you're looking to work with business owners. Business owners are not your target audience. Everybody is a business owner. As a service provider, you're a business owner. Single mom business owner, Christian mothers business owner, fashion brand business, like everyone is a business owner. So you have to know the people that you're looking to work with. Are you looking to work with real estate, property investors, fashion brand? Who are the people that you're looking to work with? And at the beginning, you might not really get all this right, because at the beginning, niching down would be very difficult for you, because you're still trying to discover yourself. You're still trying to understand the things that you can do more. And for you to do that, you have to try different things. And to be honest with you, you will have unsatisfied clients and you will have satisfied clients. That's one thing that is for sure. At the beginning, I have more unsatisfied clients, satisfied clients. But I'm grateful that my satisfied clients, we have worked for a long time. I'm talking about 1 year, 9 months. We have worked for a long time and been able to give these people the results that they desire, generate leads for them. Managing impression is very important too, because you don't want whereby people reach out to you. They'll feel like, okay, because you're an expert, you do magic for them. You should know the important metrics of a brand. Important metrics that you should focus on. Your brand message, your calls, they are not for everyone. So understand that you are just showing up for that one person that matters. Even when you're handling a client's page, handle it like a business, not like a hobby. Not just because it's something that pays you. Handle it like your own business. The way that you do yours, just do the same way. You have to be more careful with how you handle it. And if you're offering DM management for clients, I think it's actually a great thing. You can charge more for DM management, or even community building, because it takes time to build a community. Focus more on finding a community as well, because you need to have a community, 2 or 3 communities that you are active on. Social media community, social media management communities that can help you. You can ask questions. And it also help you when it comes to useful ways to get clients referrals and learn from the experience of industry leaders. Maybe you're on a Facebook group where you can learn from others. You can actually DM them to ask them few questions and all of that. Then when it comes to getting a job as a beginner, getting an entry-level job, I would advise people to focus more on, you can do internship. It is not really a bad thing, because people are more really focused on getting high-paying clients, to starting from somewhere. You don't want to start from somewhere to grow. You don't want to build that solid foundation that will help you to build something great. You just want to start from the top to get clients immediately. So start from somewhere. And for you to start from somewhere, it's all about you at the beginning. Document your journey. Write it down if possible. Know the things that you are comfortable doing, or the content that you enjoy. Because there are industries that you love creating content for them. For me, I love creating content for real estate than tech. Yeah. And not because I can just say that. No, I've actually tried these 2 industries. I have tried it to know where my strengths. And what did I even do? So when I niche down, I have to charge more. Okay, for that services that I'm charging, let's say $300 monthly. So when I niche down, because I already know that this is where my strength lies, like I can give this industry, anybody that's coming from this industry, I can give them massive results. Then when I actually achieve it, I will just double on my payments, everything, I will just double on it. Because my goal is to have is to make more money, not to have many clients. That's just my goal. My goal is not to have many clients. My goal is to make more money. I can have 2 or 3 clients that are just 30 clients to some individuals. So you should have a growth mindset. Have a growth mindset. Understand that this is a continuous process. It's something that you have to keep learning. You have to keep learning, because social media changes. And many businesses are looking for ways to, to target the audience, or to even start building their brand online. And this is where you come in. This is where you have to help them to discover themselves, to help them to get to the right people. Because social media management is a skill, it's something that people or businesses need every day. Every day. If you're not getting jobs as a social media manager, is that your brand authority is weak, or you're doing the wrong thing. You're doing the wrong thing. People tell you to build a brand, but nobody tells you to position a brand. So these 2 things are just different. Anybody can wake up tomorrow and decide to just build a brand, but not everybody can position a brand. Positioning your brand has to do with when people perceive you to be the best part in that industry, in that niche. So focus more on brand positioning. And for you to position your brand, you have to create quality content. Likes are not cash. You can still show up on the feed 10 times, 20 times, and still not get your desired result. Forget the things that you think that are your desired result. Because most people tend to think that, okay, if you get clients, or maybe someone reach out to you to make inquiry about your business, you already have clients. You will be very happy. You will just announce it on LinkedIn. Oh, I got a job. You have people in your lead qualification criteria. Are there people that you are looking to work with? Are there people that you are looking to do business with, with so amount, email list, followers, and all of that? These are lead qualification criteria. These are the things that many people they overlooked it because they think it's not really valued. But having lists of people that you love to do business with, people that you love to collaborate with, is actually very important because it will always remind you and it will always be a sign of purpose, like you're going somewhere. And these are the things that you need. These are the things that you need to climb this ladder. So getting a job doesn't mean that that's your desired result, because you can still get someone that will pay you $200 or $500. Meanwhile, you're looking for clients that will pay you $1,000 monthly. That's just the big difference. So desired result is actually is just different. And if you're showing up on LinkedIn as a social media manager, everything should be well organized, starting from your profile optimization. Have to optimize your LinkedIn profile very well. Organize your LinkedIn profile, especially your talks, your talks about matters, because there are many people on LinkedIn that don't really understand the creator mode. The talks about on LinkedIn, they don't understand it. They just feel like talks about are the topics that you talk, like you consistently talk about, just like your content pillars. But the funniest thing is that people, okay, let's say you want to talk about, people just want to talk about social media. Before you choose your talks about, maybe there might be words, like things that you really want to talk about, that topic. But before you just put it out there, you have to ask yourself, what is the high-ranking keyword in all these talks about? What are the high-ranking keywords? Because every word or topic has a high-ranking keyword. And the high-ranking keyword should be the thing on your talks about. But there are people that just hashtag social media management, hashtag social media manager. I don't understand. Be careful who you are creating content for. Are you creating content for your competitors, or you're creating content for your target audience? Many people make that mistake of creating content for their competitors, and that's why they can't monetize their audience. You can create content for your competitors if you're looking to monetize your audience. So have a winning content strategy. Know your content values. Know your content type. Know your content pillars. Then you are good to go. Build your brand authority. Focus more on building your brand authority. There are certain topics or content, like don't share too much personal information online, because there are stories that people will read, they will not love to do business with you. And that's just it. People don't know that. People will say, oh, being vulnerable is actually great. Yeah, it's very great. But social media gives you the right, and everything, just give you the right to control your narrative. It gives you the right to create good content. Create content that will connect you to your target audience. Content that will hide their emotions, not the content that will drive pity. If you want to create good content, ask yourself, what are the benefits? You as a person, you are a product. You are a product, because when people go to your about section, they are looking for benefits. How would they even benefit? Like even if they want to just, maybe they want you to be their friend or just networking, anything. What are the benefits? What are the things that, okay, I will say, okay, tomorrow I'll benefit from this person, or maybe collaboration, and so on. So be a person of value, because all this is about giving value, and value are perceived by the user. You might be doing it, you don't even know that you're doing rubbish, and nobody will even tell you that you're doing rubbish. You show up on LinkedIn, join challenges, which doesn't even help you. It helps you to be consistent, but it doesn't help you to build a disciplined brand. A consistent brand and a disciplined brand is not the same thing. It is not the same thing. And consistency is an overarching commitment that you make to yourself. So if you want to build a disciplined brand, then you have to be disciplined, which means you have to have a strategy. You don't just show up, bam, like a ghost and start putting out content for us to read. You have to have a strategy, have a winning content strategy that you can show up and people read what you're talking about and understand you and resonate with your content. You can create an aware content, educational content, user-generated content, personal stories, which has to do with motivation, inspiration, social activity, many of them. And before you even ask or even choose anything, you have to ask yourself, which content value align with my brand? Because what works for a fashion brand will not work for a real estate brand. What works for me as a social media manager might not really work for you as a beginner social media manager. So you have to know your content values before you post content online. It is a must. Before you post, ask yourself, is my content educational? Is it promotional? Is it analytical? Is it simplified? Is it user-generated content? Which one? Like, where am I really focusing on creating this content that I'm creating? What's the main focus? What's the purpose behind it? And building your brand doesn't have to be a specific niche. You don't say, oh, I have a degree. In short, I'm a philosophy graduate. Yeah, philosophy. I studied philosophy in school, but I'm a social media manager right now. Yeah. So people are more focused on your page as a social media manager. That's why you have to be very careful and show up with good pictures. Show up with good pictures. If you're looking for CEOs, dress like a CEO. Don't dress like a hungry person. So show up with good picture. Your about section should be more of how your past experiences make you a better person to troubleshoot your target audience needs or their problems. So when creating your about section shouldn't be about you. It should be about them. You don't start your about section with your name is blah, blah, blah. You have 5 years of experience in digital marketing and you have this and you have that. I want you to know that you're not the only one you're not the only social media manager online. There are people that have made promises to your target audience. There are thousands of them that have made different promises, make them an offer, even give discount. But they're looking for something different. They're looking for someone that will make them to be aware of a problem or even already content that shows that, okay, this is the problem. Then how can you help me? What are the results that you have achieved? And if you go to my page, I think at the end part of it, my about section, I put out something like, I think I've achieved something like this, how I got 31,000 followers in a year, in 12 months. You should be able to do something that your target audience will just be like, okay. I think this person is actually going to somewhere. Before they reach out to you, okay, how can you help me? And let what you do, what you say that you do, show it on your page. You don't say that you're a social media manager and every day you're creating fluffy content. You're putting out generic content, creating content for no one. You can do that. Generic content is not bad. It's not really bad. Just don't do it often. Have a strategy that will help you to know that, okay, I can talk about my social life, maybe my social activity. I can talk about this on Friday. I can talk about this on Tuesday. I can talk about this on this. Because your page should be able to inspire, entertain, and educate people. Put out content that will make people to keep coming back for more content. I'm a social media manager. I don't always have time, even for my own page, because I really focus more on giving my clients results. But what happens if you go to LinkedIn, you hardly even know that like I hardly engage, like don't do it often because I'm so busy. And at the end of the day, I might actually be so tired to do anything. I'll just, okay, let me just try. Because I've been able to find my tribe. I've been able to find people that love what I do, people that really enjoy my content, people that want to still show up. My post impression has been low since November last year. I used to have lowest 300,000 post impression weekly. Sometimes 500,000 post impression. But right now, my post impression 50,000 post impression. Just look at the difference. So the LinkedIn algorithm is actually messing up, but I did not give up. I still show up and I still give valuable content. And people that still show up and read and get real facts and appreciate you for all that you do for them. So give value to people. Don't hold it back. Because if they don't learn it from you, they will learn it from another person. And that other person that they learn it from, that person will be the one that they will get to remember all the time, not you. So make sure that you are giving value, don't hold it back. Be a person of value, because success attracts success. If you're a person of value, you attract many people, even your target audience. They'll be the one to come to your DM. And I want you to know that many CEOs, founders, or marketing, anybody, any high-profile individuals, they're looking for people that have audience. If you have audience, I'm not talking about followers. Audience are readers. I hope you know the audiences are readers. So focus more on that. Because when you are the person that attracts people, they will be drawn to you, you attract them. Have a follow-up strategist that you use to follow up a prospect. You don't always have to be on the DM, because if I will block you. So you don't have to always be on the DM. Have different follow-up strategy. You can use engagement follow-up strategy, many of them that you can use to follow up a prospect without even going to the DMs, because there are people that if they don't know you, they will ignore you. It happens on LinkedIn. Forget that LinkedIn is a professional network, but high-profile individuals, they hardly reply to messages. And especially when you don't have like a match to their profile, even if you don't have that money, but just a match to their profile. If you don't have audience or followers, they will ignore you. But if you have all those things, they must actually consider, because they will know that, okay, let me just hear what this person has to say. Or sometimes if you want to reach out to a prospect, use voice notes. People don't ignore voice notes. They will play it, even if they ignore it, they will still play it and listen to what you have to say. But make sure that you are not begging them for anything, like normal connection. Thank you for accepting my connection request and blah, 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 when you send your voice note. So be a person of value to attract the right individuals that will be able to give you money and buy what you are selling. So when you are looking for a job, entry-level job, I shared a content on my Instagram page. I don't know, maybe I will just go and pin it again, on how you can use Google Play Store to look for industries to work with, or to even offer internship. My dear, high-paying clients might not come immediately. We have to start from somewhere. You need real-world experience as a social media manager. You need experience that will help you. You're still climbing somewhere. We are just looking at 5 years. 5 years from now, what will people say about you? So forget about the mistakes, because you make many mistakes. Of course, you make mistakes. You meet clients that will just remind you that, this life is not easy. You meet many people, but just keep pushing. Don't give up. Like social media management pays you well, yeah, but it can also stress you as hell if you don't have boundaries. So make sure that the limitations, everything are just there, waiting for your client to reach out. And how do you even discover all that? It's because you discover all that by building yourself, by just moving forward, and not just being stagnant, waiting for somebody to organize free events for you to join in. So pay for you to learn, pay for courses for you to get more knowledge on something that you want to build. So the skills that you need as a social media manager, there are many skills that you need as a social media manager. We have the soft skills and all of that, but hard skills that you need as a social media manager. Number one is a writing skill. Even if you cannot write blog posts, that's not even a big problem. Make sure that you know how to create good content. If you can create simplified content, because there are people like, what works for me, what I can do, you cannot do it. And what there are things that you can do, I cannot do it. So make sure that you discover your strength. If you know how to create simplified content, like simple content, if you go on LinkedIn, you see people that create simplified content, and they do have like engagement, like 5 times engagement than people that create long form content. I don't even read long form content. I don't do that. So, and you have people say that not people. Gary Vaynerchuk said that content is king, but content is God. So when you are creating content, have your audience in mind. If you are looking for CEOs, founders, top executives, you should understand that these people, they don't have time. They don't have time to sit down and start reading long form content. So you can actually create a simplified content, go straight to the point, talk what, like say it, go straight to the point and put out the content without sugarcoating everything, without painting it blue and black before you even putting it crayfish and everything before you even publish it. So go straight to the point, create the content so that when they visit your page, they'll just read and go. And people that work with you, they might not even engage on your post. They will not even click, they will not even like, they'll just read and go. So people are always watching you. So you have to be very careful. You have to show up as you have to know how to reply to DMs, have to learn how to use tools, AI tools. Use tools, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how big your brain is, just make sure that you're using tools. Then the next thing is visual and design. I don't know how to design, of course, and let me not start with that. Like, I don't know how to design, graphic designer. I don't, like, it's something that I can learn. Yeah, something that I can learn. So I'm still trying to have that eyes for colors, because that's just the first step that you need for designing. So you need to create digital assets to share on social media. So an eyes for design is a must. You see designs, but I know how to edit videos. Yeah, I can do video editing, not that 100%, but I think I can do, for my brand. So there are certain things that you should learn as a social media manager. Even if you have the money, don't always outsource. There are things that you don't always have to outsource, because there are times that even if you outsource graphic designing, one day, your graphic designer might not even be available. And you might actually try to reach out, like nobody will be available that day. So you just be alone, you just lose a job. So just learn how to do design, even if mini designs, I can do mini designs. Yeah, just learn the mini aspect of it and just keep learning. Even if you have the money, just keep learning it because of emergencies. Then you must be a tech savvy, like understand how social media algorithm works. You have to learn how to use application and navigate internet, all call for familiarity with technology. You see, using tools. Social media managers, we cannot do without tools. We cannot do without tools. And each tools has their different work. I don't use Quora the way I use Medium. I don't use Medium the way I use Google. All of them, I have their different purpose. Each of them, I have what I use it for. Maybe for storytelling, maybe for carousel, maybe for social listening, maybe like different purpose. So AI, you know how to use all those things. It will actually help you. Like other tools that you can use to organize or even work together with a team, all those things, the one that you can use to schedule your content and work in one place. They have to also learn how to, analytical thinking. Like thinking, you have to be a very good thinker. Have to think. So you need to ensure that everything is actually working out fine. You need to keep social media followers engaged and move a percentage of viewers to purchase products or services. So when you are creating content, you have to have that mindset. What is the purpose of creating this content? Why am I even creating this content? Because you don't just create content as a user. If you show up on social media as a user, then you'll not get results. But if you show up as a business owner, you understand that I'm looking to achieve something from social media. I don't want to show up and waste my time. I want to show up and get results. I want to show up and create content that will lead people to somewhere. Is either the content that will lead them to schedule a call with me, or content that will lead them to my DM, or content that will lead them to my website. And yeah, if you don't have money for websites, if you're a beginner social media manager, or if you're already an expert, you don't have money for a professional website, or not even professional, like something simple, you can actually use Canva to create your website. I think that's a new feature of Canva, not really new, but you can use Canva to create a website. And your website should be moral, because on my own page, my about section is not, you not even see anything about me. Like, I mean, me personally, like maybe telling you my native name, how old I am, like things that I love doing and all of that. You will never see it. You will never see it on my about section. So, but if you go on my website, you'll be able to read more about me. You'll be able to read more, know me very well, see my products and my services, and just shop whatever you want to shop. Then communication is very important. Even if you are talking to your team, influencers, clients, it's essential to keep everyone in the loop as a social media manager, because communication matters. Even if you're reaching out to someone on the DM, you're speaking to your client, it matters. And you have to learn, like, you have to be humble. Humble yourself. There are clients that you meet, they'll stress you. But the way that you handle the issues, the way that you carry yourself, it will help you a lot. You have to understand that social media is connected to your mind, your mentality, your psychology, everything. One mistake, you have headache, you fall sick. If you make mistake, like all those things. So have a leadership skill. Have a leadership skill whereby you can oversee all social media activities of a brand. We have social media directors. You oversee both the graphic designer, the social media managers that will come in, community managers, everybody. You oversee all the whole social media activities. So having a leadership skill is a must. Then community building. People are looking for social media managers who can be able to build and moderate communities, maybe like Instagram group, Telegram group, even if even on LinkedIn, because you can still build your community on LinkedIn. So but you have to have a process on how you do that. You can have for me, I have a connection list of people that I want to always engage with, because I know that no matter how good I am, no matter how lovely and sweet I am, I cannot keep up with all my audience. So I just have to have creators that I want to follow. These creators, I'm not just following them, I'm following their all activity, which means anybody that they're engaged with, I'm also engaging with those people. They're kind of building the same audience. So you're actually getting yourself to more eyes, to more people to see you. So drop relevant comments. Know how to drop relevant comments, even though sometimes we cannot escape the great share. Maybe all this great share. Now maybe you're trying to support your community member, people that join pod, but joining pod is not even a good thing. I want to advise you to do that. It will mess your page up. It's better for you to just take it easy and find the people that will love what you do. Naturally, attract your tribe. Attract your tribe. And when it comes to knowing your worth as a social media manager, I mean, when it comes to pricing your services, how you price it, you can start from anywhere. You can start from anywhere, but make sure to shake your competitors to see what they're charging and ask yourself, what are my capabilities? What can you do? Because you maybe you cannot make a, let's say maybe I can give my clients 200 followers in a week. Then can you do that as a social media manager? So this is the questions that you need to ask yourself. Those people that are charging $2,000, what is this special thing that they offer to their client that you're not doing? So ask yourself those questions. So shaking your capability is also important. I have a toolkit that gives you the opportunity to onboard a client successfully. Because as a social media manager, your onboarding process matters a lot. When onboarding a client, that's where you demonstrate your professionalism. Forget the DM. But you see, when onboarding a new client, that's where you show your professionalism, how the clients how you even charge them. Because a prospect reach out to you. Instead of you asking a prospect questions, they really want to start throwing questions to you like, I don't understand. So if you know your games very well, when people reach out to you as a social media manager, there are certain informations that you need from them. And my toolkit is a template, the exact template that I use to sign in new clients every time, every day. So even if you're making inquiry for my services and all of that, I already have a discovery call script that I can use for the first time. If you're just touching base for the first time, I'll use that discovery call to ask you relevant questions and all of that. Then I have the other process, onboarding questionnaires, social media contracts. And as a social media manager, you can never, like, don't you ever start a work without a contract. Your contract is important. Even if you're doing internship, make sure that you're starting with a contract. And if you're still looking for a job and you want people to give you that opportunity, like internship, you cannot, it's not a must. Sure, don't do free internship. I don't advise social media managers to do free internship because you burn data. You own your data, you buy data to manage a company's page. Like, it doesn't make sense. So you can actually charge them for data. That's actually okay. So don't offer everything for free. Okay, so that your content is free doesn't mean that your time is free, even if you are still a beginner. So know how to use your time very well. Watch YouTube videos, but YouTube videos are not going to help you. You need a coach. You need somebody that, if anything happens, you'll be able to get in touch with them and ask them questions. Someone that will give you access to the discussion group, someone that will give you access to them. And I also have a starter course on social media management, but let me finish my toolkit. So the toolkit actually it contains a template that will help you to onboard a client. The social media strategy, the proposal, the rate card, and many of them. If you go to my page, visit my page on LinkedIn, Tonia Vincent, you will see it there on my official post, or you can actually reach out to me via DM on LinkedIn. I will respond today or tomorrow. Okay, guys. If you have questions for me, your questions can come in. Then yeah.
So much, man. I'm so grateful. So, does anybody have questions for Miss Tonia? She has said a lot from not just handling social media. I mean, your social media pages, like you are doing them for fun, treating them with trivial hands. You should handle your social media accounts like they are a business. Because if you want to go into social media management, you have to make sure that you have an interesting portfolio, a portfolio that can speak of your work and your expertise. And your social media account is one of those things that can make a great portfolio for you. And so you have to understand that it goes way beyond just wanting to show up on social media and not just do things in an orderly manner. We have to be strategic. This is what Ms. Tonia has told us, and that we have to ensure that our contents are tailored to the audience that we want to attract. We shouldn't write like the audience that, how would I put it, we are just surrounded with, not just surrounded with. You should ensure that what you're writing on is meeting with the need of your audience or your target audience. Most times when you start out on social media, it's not your target audience that you see all around. Most times you have to be the one to intentionally build that community. And so we have heard from Ms. Tonia. Any question from anybody? Is there anything that she explained that you are not too clear with and you want her to expatiate further? Please let us know. Let us know. You can just mute your mic and ask your question. If there are no questions, okay, it's like I saw something now. Let me check. I sent, okay. This is a question, ma. How do you ensure that clients are loyal to terms set in a proposal, especially if you are working remotely and they are in a country like, for example, Canada? That's the question, ma.
All right.
Miss Tonia,
So,
can you hear me, ma? Okay.
yeah, I'm here. All right. So when you send a proposal to a client, your proposal contains your deliverables, the things to deliver to your client, right? Your proposal is not your contract. There are people that mix it up. They'll put proposal and put contract at the same time. No. The proposal are your deliverables, things that you can be able to give to the client, maybe weekly, monthly, or a day. Depends on you, how you can, your capability, how you can actually work with this client. So once the clients accept the proposal and just feel like, okay, let's work together. Because for me, I send my proposal and rate card at the same time. I do it at once. So that after going through my proposal, then you go through the rate card and you see the value of what you are paying for and all of that. So, and when it comes to contracts, because I really understand where you are going, there are clients that, even if you go above and beyond to satisfy them, they'll still not get satisfied, no matter what you do. So no matter how great you are, you must have a unsatisfied client. No matter how good you are with your craft, you will have unsatisfied clients. You can only choose to, not to have one when you niche down, because you already know the area that you are very, very good at. Like nobody can even challenge you. Like even if the people challenge you, a few people, like people cannot challenge you on that. So to make sure that your clients keeps to the terms and conditions of your contract, once you sign the contract and send it to them to sign the contract, they already sign it. Then if you're having any problem, maybe you're having touch-based meeting, and one of the problems that social media managers do, they don't have touch-based meetings with their clients. I have touch-based meeting every week with my clients. It's a must. No matter how big you are or how busy you are, I don't care. If you miss that touch-based meeting, it's even enough for me to fire you, because I have a firing template that I sent to a client that I don't want to work with again. I think I fired someone after 1 week of working for him. I fired him. I told him, sir, we cannot continue like this. You cannot, even if because you are paying me, doesn't mean that you will make the work even more harder for me. Like because this thing is just more about two people putting heads together to make something work. Even if you have a team, if you cannot come to the meeting, then send your marketing team. I have my instructions, which are very clear. So you can have a template where you can list the terms and conditions, or just put it in your contract. But there are people that don't like long contracts, just make it short, like bullet points, everything that you want, like something that is a must for them to obey it, for them to know it. So when a client disobey anyone, maybe if they don't pay you on time, you can charge extra for it. Like you can charge them for late payment. You can charge them for late payments. Yeah. So know the things to. I don't know if I answered your question, but you can actually come up playing. You can use voice notes to ask me this question. Maybe there's a particular area that you're having problem with a client that you want me to answer it. Hello? Judith. Judith. All right, Judith, I don't know if I answered your questions, but I would love you to use voice to explain the main problem. Because when you say terms and conditions, there are many terms and conditions, your boundaries, yeah. So it must actually be that no client should reach out to you. No client should call you on phone, because me, I don't like my clients where they call me on phone. You can only call me during our touch-based meeting, but I'm available to answer your questions if you send a message, maybe on WhatsApp or on LinkedIn. So just let me know the exact this thing that you're facing. Maybe I will be able to offer you my advice. Then you have a firing template that can use to fire a client. All right. Okay. All right, no problem. Wait.
Can you hear me, please? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, please.
Yes, ma, I can hear you.
Since the network has not faded out, I want to appreciate you, ma, for your time and for this impactful session. Thank you so much for doing this On behalf of House of Wisdom and our program coordinator, I want to say thank you, ma. God bless you. Do enjoy
welcome,
the
ma.
rest of the day.
Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, class.
Good
Good
afternoon,
evening,
ma'am.
ma'am.
We
Good
bless the
evening,
Lord.
ma'am.
We bless the Lord for where He has brought us. We appreciate Him because this could have been God, only God. And so, since there's nobody to introduce me, I've introduced myself. And we can start the class. So I'll be talking about affiliate marketing. 10 tips that can help you increase your sales. And in the letter I wrote on WhatsApp, the messages I've been sending, I explained that affiliate marketing is marketing another person's product for a commission. That means you can start any money from day one. You don't have to wait until you can create your own product, until you can create your own email list. You can start any money from the get-go. And I decided to do this class, although it's not really, it's out of my comfort zone right now, but because some people requested for it and one or two people even asked me for it, I said, okay, let me share my Amazon affiliate experience. Let me share my Amazon affiliate experience because I am in the Amazon affiliate program. And those of you who know me way back then know how I used to share my earnings. I made money from it, I won't lie. But when depression struck, my businesses crumbled. And when I wanted to come back, I said, okay, let me focus on freelance writing first. And then I'll move on to affiliate marketing. Why do you think I want to move on to affiliate marketing? It's not as if I will leave freelance writing, but I want you to know something about this online business thing. There is passive income, there is active income. Active income is income that comes in when you are working. Passive income is money that comes in for work you did 20 years ago. So if you really want to make money, you have to be tilting towards passive income. And people who write books make passive income because books they've written 10 years ago will still be selling and they will be making money. So that is what affiliate marketing enables you to do. So whatever I'm going to share now is based on my Amazon affiliate marketing experience. It's not based on ClickBank. It's not based on any other Amazon, Jumia, Konga. No, I don't have experience with those. And I think for one to be honest, one has to delve or stay on his or her lane or what he or she knows how best. The moment I have experience with those ones, I will definitely share. But for now, I want to share my Amazon affiliate success. So I got into Amazon affiliate marketing. The company actually calls it Amazon Associates, but it's an affiliate program, but they call it Amazon Associates. I got into it because I started this online thing in 2003, yes. So I was like, I have done the Nigerian market. Let me try the global audience. So that was what made me switch to Amazon affiliates because I had done seminars in Nigeria. I had done ebooks. I had done information marketing. I had done a couple of web design, so many. So I was like, I'm not a local champion. You know, I kept telling myself that. And I said, let me spread my tentacles. And so that was what led me into the Amazon Associates program. And because they accept Nigerians, I was so pleased. And they also pay Nigerians. So I was so pleased with the program and I made a success of it to the glory of God. So I am going to share 10 tips that can help you if you want to go that route. So basically, why did I do freelance writing first before coming to affiliate? Because freelance writing is a service. And online, if you want to make sharply money, I'm not saying you won't wait a bit, but at least with a service, you are connecting what you can do with what somebody needs. And so it's most likely going to be more faster than waiting to create a website, waiting to write articles, waiting to drive traffic, all those things before earning. So that was why I said, okay, let me do freelance writing first. And when I find my feet, I'll move into affiliate marketing, which will give me passive income. So, and it will help me make money while I sleep. You know that, you know what they popularly say, make money while you sleep. It's true, but it takes a lot of work. I won't lie. It takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment. So what is the first tip if you want to make a success of your affiliate marketing? Gain the trust of your audience. Gain the trust of your audience. And how can you do that? You can do that by being consistent. They don't only see you today, they see you tomorrow. They don't only see you tomorrow, they see you the day after tomorrow, which means you are consistently publishing. If you have told them you'll be publishing once a week, every week they are seeing your posts. Consistency. It will give you credibility. But when you are there today, you are not there tomorrow, they begin to doubt. And you know, when Mr. Precious Oboidhe was talking, he said something about remaining top of the mind. Remaining top of the mind. You know, most of these commercials, they will play it over and over on the radio, on the television, because they want to remain top of the mind. They want you to get to a point where you can be singing the song along when they are playing the jingle or the commercial. That means they are now top of your mind. And when you want to buy noodles, you are thinking of a brand that is popular, not because they are the best, but because you've heard their jingle all morning. So you have to remain top of the mind by being what we call consistent. And the second thing is you must be credible. You know, if I come to your website today and I read the review of a product and I purchased it through you, and I realized from using the product that everything you said in your review is true, there is a high possibility that I will come there tomorrow if I want another thing. There is that high possibility that I will visit your website again. Why? Because you are credible. What you said was true. I found what you said about the product to be true from actually using the product. So you have to gain the trust, and trust is earned. I like to say this all the time. Trust is earned. It's not free. You know, people are like, okay, let me give you a scenario now. A company brought out a product, and the product killed children. And the next time they brought another product out, and they are like, why can't you trust us now? You have to earn their trust back. It doesn't work like that. You have to earn trust. It takes a while for you to be able to get into the minds and consciousness of people back. So trust is earned, and it takes a lot of time for it to come. So that is the first thing. Gain the trust of your audience. The second thing is write descriptive and detailed reviews. For those of us who want to go this route, if you want me to show you a sample of my reviews, I can check my archives for it. I can't promise, but just for you to have a feel of what I'm talking about. And if I don't see any on my own, I can look for one that I can give you just for you to see what I mean. You have to be detailed in your review. Do thorough research. Thorough research. Then I used to have a website on mattresses and clippers. I had a couple of other websites coming up on different topics before the depression setting. But for the mattress website, I earned a lot because mattresses are expensive over there. There were mattresses on my website that were selling for $1,000. And so when you look at the commission I'm getting, it's a lot. At the time, Amazon was giving 4% of whatever you sell. But if you sell more, it goes up with sales. But basic is 4%. And many people shy away from it because they say the commission is low. But I didn't look at that because I was trying to hone my skill for the global audience. And I was also happy that there was an affiliate program that was accepting Nigerians. Since I couldn't access ClickBank, at least I could access this one. And so I worked with it. So write descriptive and detailed reviews because people are depending on you to make purchasing decisions. And it is what you say that they are going to believe. In fact, I was going to get to a point where I got ill. I was going to get a point where I said, from part of the money I was making, I will purchase some of the products I was reviewing and I'll video them. I'll make a video of them while unboxing. I'll show you the pros, the cons. You have to be detailed in your review. I wasn't purchasing. What I was doing was I was reading reviews by actual users. If you go to Amazon today for any product you want to buy, if it's not a new product, you find reviews by people who have used it. And most of them will tell you the truth about it. So I depended on those reviews to understand how the products were. And from them, I was able to write an intro about the product, features, the pros, the cons, why you should buy it. I try to be as detailed as possible. And for me, for those of you who know that I like writing long, some of my posts were 2,000 words, some were longer. So write detailed reviews. And it doesn't mean you should write. In my business, Amazon affiliate business, I got to a point where I was hiring writers. You know, Mr. Precious mentioned Upwork. I was hiring writers from Upwork, and I gave them how I wanted the article to look like. I gave them a detailed brief, and they wrote, and I published them. So you can also get to that point where it's not you that is writing, because it's a business. And so when we look at it as a business, you will not mind investing in it. So I hired and I got people to work with me on my Amazon website. Because if you say you want to rely on yourself alone, you wear yourself out. So that is that. Write descriptive and detailed reviews. The third point is use videos and photographs. You know the saying that one picture is worth 1,000 words. For instance, you have explained tire about how this thing looks. You just shoot them one picture. They will see, I don't know. I don't see how this thing looks. So use lots of pictures. They can be pictures you took. They can be pictures you also got from Amazon, because on each product page, Amazon publishes photos. And even some of the reviewers publish photos. They also publish videos. if you are able to do your research thoroughly. And some of them, they will not put the videos on Amazon, they will put it on YouTube. So when I reviewed, I will also go and pick videos from YouTube and put on my website, because it was a WordPress website. I could embed YouTube videos there. So I embedded my reviews from other people. But you know, I told you I was going to get to a point where I could do my own reviews by purchasing the product and everything, but I didn't get there before the honest drop. So other people have done the work. I'm just giving you options. So you will not say, I cannot make videos right now, so I'm not doing this. Leave the excuses and face what you can do with what you have. You will grow from there. So that is the third point. Use videos and pictures. You can also make graphics for those of you who know how to design. And if you don't know how to design, get somebody to help you out. It will help a lot. So the fourth point is I leveraged heavily on SEO. In fact, that was my only traffic source, SEO. I leveraged heavily on search engine traffic, because from the get-go, the website was set up with keywords. We call them buying keywords, buyer keywords, B-U-Y-E-R keywords, buyer keywords. So those are the kind of keywords that people who are in the mood to purchase use. For instance, somebody who goes to Google to type in laptop is not in the mood to purchase. He might be looking for information about laptops. But when he puts laptops under $500, that kind of person has the intent to buy. When he puts laptops from Easy Buy, he's interested in buying. And so if you want to target those kind of people, you are going to write your article based on laptops under $500, laptops from Easy Buy, blue laptops, blue LG laptop. Those are all what we call buyer keywords, because these people are searching for it. And you have to provide articles based on those keywords for your site to be seen in the search engines. So in my heydays, my website was on page 1 on Google for the keywords I was targeting, most of them. And so I was getting free traffic through the search engines to my website. And traffic from search engines converts. They convert, because these are people who are in need and they are searching heavily. And so if you use buyer keywords, you will definitely get them to convert on your website. So for my mattress website, keywords that I was using were best mattress for the money, best mattress under $100, best mattress from Target Buy. All those are keywords of people who are in the mood to buy. Best mattress for kids who have allergies. They are in the mood to buy. They probably have a child who is suffering from allergies and they need a mattress to help the child. So these are buyer keywords. So I leverage heavily on them. And at the time, I was using a software called Longtail Pro. I paid for it. Longtailpro.com. I'm not an affiliate, but it was a good product when I was using it. It was by Spencer Hawes, but Spencer sold it to another person. Spencer is one of the people that introduced me to the Amazon program, and I benefited immensely from his insights. So leverage heavily on SEO. I'm not saying SEO is the only traffic source, but it's a cheap source of traffic. It's a cheap source of traffic, and it's also almost from people who are ready to buy. People who have a high purchase intent. So that is that. And then the Next tip is to build your email lists. Build your email lists. You know, people will talk about all these online business, but I'll tell you, as somebody who is grounded in this business, to the glory of God, I have 20 years experience in this business. I will tell you that having your own channels is the best. You don't own social media, but you can leverage social media to build your lists, because that list is your own. You can message them any day, anytime. And they cannot come and take the list from you. Tomorrow, Instagram can ban you for flouting their rules. Your email list can never be banned. So when we are learning this online business, know where you are learning it from. Social media is good. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying if you are using social media, leverage it to build your own list. That list will be with you forever. Nobody can take it. And these are people who are ready to buy. You can always shoot them an email. Oh, there is a cheap mattress somewhere. Can you check it out? This is the link. They purchase, bingo, your account, money don't enter. Build an email list. You know, I tell people when I teach this email list building thing that it's like if I come to your house and I don't drop a note, it's like I almost didn't come. Because without a note and nobody and somebody telling me, oh, somebody came, I won't know. But from the notes, I will know you came. Email list building is just like that. From your email being in my list, I know you visited my website. And you are trying to build a relationship with me, just as I am trying to build a relationship with you. So build an email list. It's so important, and there are many email tools right now. Some of them will even give you for free. When we were in Oboidhe on this business, we're using MailChimp, but their rules have changed a bit right now. So you can check up any other tool that gives you. There are others. I don't want to mention names because I'm not being paid to promote. So you can check online, free email list building tool, and you use them to build your list. So why I'm saying this is you want to build for posterity. You don't want to be here today and not here tomorrow. Building an email list for your affiliate marketing business enables you to stay in business for a long time. For a long, long time. So that is the 5th tip. Now, the 6th tip, if I'm right, if you are following, is know your product inside out. It helps you to write intelligently. It helps you to guide the buyer. Because most of them are busy. They are like, just tell me, just tell me, just tell me. And they move on. They purchase and move on. They are relying on you. So you have to do your homework well. Read, research, watch YouTube videos, listen to podcasts on the products. Gain insight, understand the product, so that when you are comparing and contrasting, you'll be able to say, okay, this is good for this, that is good for this. If you want to do this, buy this one. If you want to do this, buy that, because they are relying on you. You are like their go-to person. You are like the bridge between them and the product they want to buy. You are like the bridge between them and the company selling the products. They don't trust the company selling the product, but they are most likely to trust you because you have probably built a relationship with them over time. They won't trust the company selling the product because they are like, what would they be saying? After all, they want to sell their product. But you are an independent person. So know your product inside out. If possible, buy the product. Thankfully, there are some companies who will even give you what we call review copies. They will give you a copy just for review purposes, and you can review it and put it on your website. But you will mention that you were given a review copy for transparency. For transparency's sake. So know the products inside out and make videos if you have the product physically, or make photographs if you have the product physically. If you don't, I told you, you can still use Amazon's own for a while, and then you move on to a higher ground. Now, the next one is build up your knowledge base. That's part of what we are doing here. Build up your knowledge base. Invest in yourself, like the video I shared by Akin. Some people don't even want to pay. Thank God this is free. Somebody is bankrolling this. Or let's say God is bankrolling this, because this is a God project. But he's using people. So, build up your knowledge. Learn more. If there are classes you can take them. I'll tell you 2 blogs that helped me when I started. There is this blog, Niche Pursuits by Spencer Haus. Spencer Haus is S-P-E-N-C-E-R, then Haus is H-O-H-A-W-S. His blog name is Niche Pursuits, NICHPURSUITS.com, nichepursuits.com. So he talks a lot about building niche websites and monetizing them with Amazon affiliate or any other affiliate program, or even Google AdSense, if that is what you choose to use. So develop yourself, take classes, paid classes. Invest in yourself. I read somewhere that many investments fail, but an investment in yourself will never fail. You can invest in the stock market and the stock market will crash. You can buy property and the property market will crash. But an investment in yourself will always be relevant, because it will put you in places you never thought you could be. It will give you opportunities you never imagined you could get. So invest in yourself. Don't miss these classes, these DMM classes, or any classes we hold, because we are all about building knowledge, exposing ourselves to knowledge. It's important. Look at what Mr. Precious said. He has invested in himself. It has taken him time to get to where he is. And it will be for you too, but you have to just be relentless in the pursuit of knowledge. Be relentless. You know, I saw one quote this week, and it said, fervent in prayer, relentless in pursuit. And I always tell my people in House of Wisdom, our workers, I tell them, we will pray as if we don't work, and we will work as if we don't pray. Now the two, they go hand in hand, pari passu. You can't pray and go and sleep. You heard what Pastor Samadeyemi said in the video. He said, President said, they know how to pray. They will ask for $100,000, and they are not thinking of selling anything. Abba, God is not a magician. He will bless your skills to give you that money you want. Of course, once in a while, he does miracles. But all in all, it follows due process. That's why even the Bible says there is seed time and harvest. That time you are building your knowledge base is the time of sowing seeds. It might be hard. For instance, it's hard for us to stay on this call for 3 hours. Some people can't. Before you know it, Oti Japa. Oti Japa, they will be like, I can't do this for 3 hours. Like, I have not been to the house. I'm doing this straight from church. I've been out of the house since morning, since 7 a.m. We are being relentless in pursuit of knowledge, because we know that God will bless the knowledge we have. We have to give God something to work with. You don't have a skill, you don't have a service, you don't have a product, you are praying for $100,000. Abba. So be relentless in building yourself up. An investment in you is an investment that will pay for itself forever. It's not wasted, I tell you. So the other person you can learn from is Erica Stone. I learn from her every day. She's one woman who, through this affiliate marketing, retired her husband from his work. Said, come and work with me here. Seriously. When the money boom, the man started working with her. You can find her at extremreviewer.com. Extreme Reviewer. extremreviewer.com. Extremreviewer.com. She's an extreme reviewer. When she does her reviews, you will not want to buy. I tell you, you can't stand it. You want to buy because she's so thorough, she's so detailed. Join our email list. I'm still on our email list. Very powerful woman. So you can learn from there. Another tip is use tables. If you want to see a sample, I'll share a link of a table. So on the table, you will be doing what we call comparing and contrasting. You will have it on your website. For those of us who use WordPress for our websites, there is a table plugin. So you make a table. For instance, if you are reviewing 5 products, you are talking about each, because the table makes it shorter for those who are not able to read the whole piece. The piece may be long. So when you do the table, your affiliate link will also be in the table. So you are like, okay, this product, pros, cons, you have put everything on the table. So those who are in a hurry will just click the affiliate link, buy, and they would have gone. So it will increase your earnings if you use tables. And then you build a website that is attractive. And for me, I always use WordPress. That's my go-to website software. There are others, though, but I have always remained with WordPress. And don't forget that we started this business when HTML was raining. So the first website tool I learned was front page. Microsoft front page. That was the first website tool I learned. We used to use it for our sales pages. But when WordPress came, most people switched to WordPress. So use WordPress for your website. You might say I'm biased. I'm not being paid to say this, but we have always used WordPress and we find it reliable. It has been there over the years and it is still waxing strong. It's an open source software, which means there are so many features you can add to it. If you want to see an example of a WordPress website, you can visit copyvista.com. That is my freelance writing website. Copyvista.com, copyvista.com. So you see there. That's a WordPress website. But I do blogging there, although I've not written in a bit because I've been busy. But you see what I have there, and you will understand what we mean by a WordPress website. And then, last but not the least, before I give room for questions because of time, use call to action buttons. Use call to action buttons. All those buttons you see on website that say, click here to save $100. It's a call to action. Click here to get free shipping on the Nonado 2.1. They are asking you to take action. That is a call to action. So use call to action buttons on your website because you have to lead people. After they have read the long reviews, you have to tell them what next to do because you are their leader at that moment. You are their leader at that moment. And so you have to tell them, click here to purchase the mattress 201 for less than $100. So use call to action that is strong, that will make them buy. Because that is the ultimate of your website. You don't want them to read from your website and go and purchase it from another place. You want to be able to keep them on your site for them to purchase through your affiliate link. So that is that for this class. We have 10 minutes for questions. This is 5:50 by my watch. Somebody is asking, I've seen a question, how can someone build an email list? How can someone build an email list? Okay, you can build an email list by having a form on your website. The form will ask them for their name, their email, probably their number. But most of you have seen where they'll say, okay, download this free ebook, drop your email in the box. And because you want the free gift, you will drop your email and they will give you the free ebook. But of course, they are going to keep in touch with you and they'll be marketing other things to you. So if you want to build your email list, it's not always that you have a free ebook to give out. It might be a checklist, it might be a video, whatever. And if you don't have anything, just tell them, even this webinar, we are using it to build email lists. Do you realize that? Because you people filled our form. So I hope I answered that question for Titi Lolu Folake. If I did, please indicate in the chat box. Any other question? Any other question, please? If there's anything I didn't touch, okay, she says she's satisfied. Okay. So if anything, I didn't touch anything, please let me know so we can search on it. But that is basically what you can do. And then the next tip, the last tip will be you have to drive traffic. The fact that you are targeting search engine traffic does not mean the traffic will come in day one. No. That's why I told you I didn't do Amazon affiliate first. I did freelance writing first because I knew that freelance writing, no, I'll get company to write for and I will make money. But these websites, sometimes they take up to 6 months to get into the search engines. Sometimes it may be faster, but you can't even predict anything. So you have to find a way to drive traffic. You might use social media, you can use podcasts. There are so many ways to drive traffic. That is a class for another day. So if you have questions, please drop in the chat box. Then I also saw so many questions around purpose and potential. It seems to be a popular topic. And I know Pastor Alo didn't have all the time to exhaust the question. So we'll see what we can do about that. And then I also wanted to mention, because I spoke to somebody this afternoon, and it's so sad that, in our desperation, we fall for so many tricks online. The fact that we are promoting online business as a good way out of poverty does not mean you should be too desperate to fall into hands. Like this lady said, they promised her $1,200 for a job, and the next thing they said was she has to pay some money to be given her own money. And I'm like, who does that? So when we now started talking, she now said it's from one Telegram group that it's a data entry job, blah, blah, blah. And I told her, well, I don't have any experience with those kind of jobs. And I don't recommend it for anybody following me. People who know me from way back know that I will carry microphone in the seminar room and I will tell you, don't do data entry job, don't do survey jobs. That's why we are bringing all these topics we are bringing, because these are tested and trusted. And we can bring out people live and direct that this person is doing this and is making it. That's why they say follow who sabi road. 20 years experience on a business, no big beans. I have failed, there's nothing I have not experienced. I have had times when I say, oh God, who sent me a message? Who sent me a message to get into this business? But that is a way of growth. If you don't challenge yourself, you will never grow. And so I challenge each and every soul that has been exposed to this knowledge. Don't be listeners alone. Please be doers, action takers. From tomorrow, challenge yourself to do something with the knowledge you have been exposed to. No matter how small, start it. Small steps will lead to unimaginable results. For instance, when I started House of Wisdom, I didn't know it was going to be like this, that people who are earning so much will even agree to be on this platform. I just did it as by faith. And let me tell you, business is a test of your faith. And so those of you that are giving all the excuses, I tell you, excuses do not exist. We create them, we give them clothes, we give them food, we give them water, and they grow and they come and overwhelm us. They do not exist, I tell you. They do not exist. In my book, they do not reign where I am. Because I know in spite of, I will do it with God's help. And I know it's the same for you too. If you have that mind of, I can do it, and I will do it with the help of God. So we are not doing this just for you to be entertained, just for you to know something. We are doing it because we want to push you into your destiny, because that is our ultimate goal. And so if you have heard our speakers tonight, please honor them by doing something with this knowledge. Follow them on social media. Build relationships. I can get all these people on my platform, on our platform now, because this is no longer about me. People have bought into the vision now. I can get people of this caliber on this platform because of what we call building relationships. That's why I tell you, young people who are following me, build relationships. That's your classmate in uni who is drinking Gary. Don't look down on him. Build relationship with him. You don't know what he will be in future. That your lecturer, build relationship with him. You don't know, maybe you will need a referral letter and he will be useful for you. These are all things that Mr. Precious talked about. It's because I have built relationship with all of them that I can just call them and they will answer me without asking for a dime. This knowledge, Mr. Precious said, is what people are paying for. But it's a pity that people will listen to this thing and they will go and say,
Okay. No,
in spite of the challenges, jump into the fray and see what God will do with your faith. Jump into the fray, do something. Do something. You are calling them today. You are calling them today. Do you think if they had not jumped into the fray, they will be where they are? Get into the trenches. Make your hands dirty. That is where the results lie. It's not about talk. We want action takers in House of Wisdom. That's why we are pushing all these trainings out. So please do something. I beg you. If I did not do something with the knowledge Dr. Jagba said, introduce us to, I won't be talking. There will be no House of Wisdom. But because I did something, we did not, he said it in the foreword to one of my books, because he wrote the foreword. And he said he used to see me. There was one period that I was attending every seminar they did, and I was still working as city people then. But because our work is journalism, we are field workers. So your boss will not even know when you are not at work or something. I could quickly dash in for a seminar and come back to work and nobody will know. I decided that I was coming, but it got to a point he no longer saw me. What I did when I went silent was I was now working on the knowledge I had been exposed to. And I came out with a bang. He himself was surprised. And he supported my journey till he died. Supported my journey till he died. So that, and I built a relationship with him. Even till now, I have a relationship with mommy. We still speak on WhatsApp. Build relations. Please, young people, get out of this mindset of transactional relations. If he's not going to do this for me, there's no point relating with him. Forget about transaction. Be relational first. You heard when Mr. Precious said, he said, I build value first before asking for something. Learn reciprocity. There are some people, it's a pity, and I've noticed some of them because they observe. I may be quiet, but I'm observing people in my circle. There are some people who are takers, they are not givers. Don't be a taker, please. Even in a man-to-woman relationship, if one person is giving and the other is not giving, I tell you, there will come a time when the one that is giving will be tired and it will lead to problems in the marriage. Learn to be reciprocal. When you approach people, look at what value you can add to them. Don't look at what you can take first. And I look at that in people because that is what I do myself. If I approach you, I'm looking at how I can add value to you before I even ask you for anything. So please, let's learn that. We are 6:01 right now. I think our coordinator is here, so I'll stop talking, and if you have questions, you can take it up from there. But let me quickly make this announcement. To the glory of God, House of Wisdom is starting a singles program as inspired. So if you are single, we don't want you to make mistakes in choice of partner. Most of the challenges in marriages could have been avoided if our singles were correctly armed with the right information. Like today, my pastor was preaching and I said, you are dating a guy, 3 years, he's still in one room. He has not moved into a self-contained apartment, and you are still dating him. I beg, he said, leave him, he's not growing. A man that is growing is a man that you see today, he starts in a 1-bedroom, but tomorrow you see him, oh, I don't want my wife to suffer. He gets a 3-bedroom apartment because he's growing. And he said something that struck me. He said, you can follow people to grow, but don't follow them to suffer. And I shouted, I said, Pastor. So it's true, these are red flags. For those of you who want to attain destiny, if you put up with a man that is not growing, you will not attain destiny. That's the truth. Because the man will be drawing you back to 20 years. And meanwhile, you want to move 10 years ahead. Because it's not growing, he will keep telling you about things that happened 20 years ago. Meanwhile, you want to talk about things that want to happen in future, and there will be a discord. And the Bible says, can two stay together except they be agreed? So singles in the house, join us in that program. It will be on Zoom too. It's on a Sunday like this, by His grace, 26th of March, Sunday, 4 p.m. We will be live. We call it singles handout. We will soon send the flyers out. Help us share it everywhere. And if you are single, please join us. Tell other singles about it. And the Lord will bless you as you do. So we'll give some, I'll hand over the mic to, and DMM 5.0. Hey, it's a surprise to me. The Lord surprised me. I think it will be on April 9th. I checked it, if I'm correct. April 9th, Sunday. So that is for DMM 5.0. And the Lord surprised me. We already have speakers, even topics. He was just whispering topics into my mind. We bless him for his leadership. So we would like to hand over to our program coordinator if she's still here. And then we will, somebody says she looks forward to DMM 5.0. Me too. I'm looking forward to it. And the flyer will be out soon by His grace. So please keep a date with us. Whether the devil likes it or not, DMM 5.0 will hold. You know, that was what I said when we did it. How are you? March 12, we are holding it, and God made it possible. There were so many challenges. I can't begin to talk about them. But God is faithful. And because the Bible says we overcame by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of the testimony, our word of testimony this afternoon is that DMM 5.0 will go on Sunday, April 9th, to the glory of God. And all our speakers will be able to attend to us, to the glory of His name. So I will hand over to our
Amen.
program coordinator, Faith Oyawale, and she can get a few comments from people who have been with us, what they think, what we can improve, and how it has benefited them. Thank you, Madam Faith. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. So it's been several hours of impactful teaching here and learning for we that are participants. You know, network tried to kick me out a couple of times, and I had to keep finding myself right back to the conference room, and it wasn't all set on my hand. But I'm grateful to God that I could still catch up with a few things that you said before you rounded up your teaching. And so for everyone that stayed till the end, you guys are amazing. Fatima, you have been with us from the very beginning. Thank you so very much. And this Jumai, Olusegun, Oluwabumi, thank you for joining. Sheon, Mr. Taiwo, Miss Titi, Lolu, this person with the Vivo phone, Lade, and Mr. Samuel. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I wanted to ask, so for those of us that have been with us, I mean from DMM 1.0, or probably you joined at the second edition or the third edition, or even if it is your first time joining for the digital marketing mastery class, let me know how it has been for you. Is there anything you feel like we are not addressing, but it's like your pain point? Let us know. I'll be reading the comments, and if you want to unmute your mic to talk, you can unmute your mic, and when you talk, you can just mute yourself back. I'll be waiting. Okay, it seems not many of us have comments. I'm reading through the comments.
Can I say something?
Oh, Mr. Taiwo, thank you so much, sir.
How are you, darling? Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I think I started attending this. I started attending from, I think, 3.0 or so. And personally, you know, I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer.
Yes, I know.
But the truth of it is that I've been applying the teachings to my engineering work, and I can tell you it's been awesome. I can tell you it's been wonderful. It's been, especially when Mama Iyabo Oyawale was telling us this evening about what did she say that I quickly put in my brain? You have to be in the trust of your customers. So you understand.
Wow. Yes,
so those of us that are in the engineering field, and considering the place that I am, that corner that God puts me, the only thing that can make me to explode. At times people do wonder, what are you doing in this place? How are you making it? So and I realize that what will help me more is to gain the trust of my customers, so that the referrer that other man said, the second speaker, when I was talking about community, so that the community will tell people about me, then I can achieve my dream. So I want to say thank you for the organizers, thank you for the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
It's been a blessing to me, and honestly, my business has grown since I joined, and I hope to gain more. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for this breathtaking feedback. And that's one interesting thing about participating in our digital marketing training, as in marketing mastery trainings. It is called digital marketing. A lot of people think it's just about freelance writing and all of that. When we look at the bright side of things, we would notice that most of the things that they teach, it's even applicable to offline businesses. I mean, to those that are not on online platforms, they can they can incorporate most of these lessons into their businesses and get massive results. Thank you for this feedback, sir. We do not take it for granted. Yeah, thank you, Miss Titi Lolu. Yeah, it has been powerful. Thank you so much, ma, for this feedback as well. We are grateful that you could partake in this and not just partake, you genuinely stayed, I mean, and you've been able to gather a lot of things. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. And so this is where we'll be drawing the curtain for this month's digital marketing session. Like our convener already said, the next session is next month, and you'll be getting the details in as much as you are on the Telegram platform for House of Wisdom. And we also have a singles hangout for this month, for March. It's coming up next week, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of us in a conference room. I mean, if you are not a single, you can tell people that you know that they are singles. You could just tell plenty people you know, most especially we the students. We have a lot of singles in our midst. We can just spread the word so people can come and we can all partake in the hangout. Thank you so much, everyone. And so this is why I'll be saying a short prayer that God keeps us till next week, next month, next week, when we'll be having the singles hangout, and that He would grant the convener strength to keep pursuing this great cause, and that she will not be weak, and that provision will be made for the vision, and that for every worker that is committing into this vision, that God strengthens them and takes care of all that they need in the name of Jesus. Thank you, blessed Father, for in Jesus' name we are prayed. Amen. Thank you so much,
Amen.
everyone.
Amen.
Bye, 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 bye. I celebrate every word of ours. I celebrate
Bye.
us.
Bye-bye.
Great.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Till
Bye.
next
Bye,
Bye.
Ma.
show.
Bye, Ma.
Bye.